Good evening, and welcome to another exciting adventure of the Geeky Puppet Show, where tonight we actually got Zach here at the beginning. It's amazing.
That's right. Yeah, my Bible study leader got rear-ended in a car accident, so there was no group tonight.
It's all coming together.
That frog was probably driving the car.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
It could.
I'm glad your mic didn't cut out halfway through that sentence, Zach.
And I was just going to say that's good money well spent, so we can get you here on time.
Wait, well, the good thing is, well, I guess if the frog did it, guess what though? There's no way he's reaching that pedal, hit the brakes. So that explains the accident. Anyway, we'll hop off of that subject.
No, curse you, Miss Piggy! That's the Muppet movie that hasn't been made yet. Kermit cheats on Piggy, and then Piggy cuts his brakes.
And then they were having ham and cheese sandwiches later on that night.
All right, tonight I actually have 13 books plus a magazine. I guess you call it a book. It's the Black Label, so 14. We all got a lot of issues tonight, so and let's talk about comics as well.
But
Sorry, I know that was bad, but it was entertaining.
wow, antihistamines activate faster than Zach's humor. What was it? Contact? Really? 15 seconds.
Am I on a delay? I think I should be.
Breen, what is your cat's name?
Not on your computer.
Oh, my humor, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, who has the shortest amount of or number of books?
How many did you have there, Zach?
I've got 10.
Okay, I've got like one or two more than you.
Oh, so I have the least?
Green has what?
No, Green has 8. But Green likes to be the end, though.
Breen's the caboose.
Yeah.
He brings it on
Green's
home.
like, you guys go ahead. I'll mute for an hour, and then I'll watch sports.
Green's like, I'll just watch the game. Y'all chat.
Games are awful. So go ahead, Beckman. Start us off.
All right. Okay. That's what you want to do. All right.
Yeah, why not?
All right. Like I said, I got 14 books. I did not get a chance to read this. Did come out this week.
I didn't get it. My brother actually texted me and wanted me to pick that up for him.
So I've been hearing this is actually a hot book.
Yeah, I've heard it.
I have not read this one yet, so I'll read it later on. Mainly because I was reading the 12 issues of Hush to catch up, so I can read the new one.
My brother, who is a very big Naruto fan, he says it's really good. He likes the Turtles too, but he doesn't like. He likes more like the Last Ronin Turtles. Not
I know
Saturday Morning.
absolutely nothing about Naruto or Naruto, whatever it's called.
He's a ninja, but they're not ninjas. They're like superheroes.
They're like the last popular Bleach.
I
I don't know. They're probably the same, right?
They call themselves ninjas, but they're really not our idea of ninjas.
Number 13 for me this week is Solomon Kane, the new Patrick Zurcher book, written and drawn by him. This is not him on the cover, but talking to Breen about this the other day, and Breen said, like, it's not your kind of thing. I don't know if I'll stick with it because it was very intellectual as far as the dialogue goes. Very whimsical, very Dalton. So, and that's not a bad thing. It's not a knock on it. It just means it's higher than the normal books I like. I like punch. Some guy laughs. He got punched. Just like number 5. But no. So I'll show you the interior art for this. For those who are hoping to see some of that. Story takes place in Africa. A guy basically runs and steals an artifact. We're getting Jack Sparrow. Pretty much. He runs, steals an artifact. He makes it to the boat. When the guy who's sitting there just drinking gets killed by a spear, he's dead. So they get the boat here, and they're being chased by something that looks like he's got like fangs. We cut to basically an epic, like basically a battle of where Solomon Kane was on this British vessel. They came across another vessel. It basically blew it apart, and while he's Racy going on the board to look for the captain to cease the raid, he ends up shooting a guy. Turns out that was the guy who had fled with whatever the artifact he stole from Africa, and he bequeaths him, I guess we call it, or bestows upon him the, hey, can you do me a favor? Get to this guy. It's very important. You know, it will be worth the reward. So he ends up going to Italy. And there we meet this guy who's like a lowly Jewish scholar who is kind of looked down upon because he's Jewish. And I don't know what's going on, but apparently they have a lower quadrant, basically the poor, but they keep away from the rich people. So in order to get across the bridge, you kind of have to know somebody. You're only allowed certain times a day. So and then we got this other guy who's kind of like a Fandor the Dashing, but more like a villain. And he's working for these other guys who basically he's a scoundrel working for his own ill gain. Lets the guys know that, hey, the boat that you're supposed to get your stuff in, but it did not show up. It was sunk. So I imagine he's going to be a villain towards the end of this, but get a lot of like rain stuff, where he's walking in the cave on the horse, riding on the back of that. Approached by these guys, he starts praying, and they're like, praying's not going to save you. He's like, well, I was praying for your souls, and he basically shoots them. I've never seen the Solomon Kane movie, so I don't know how well that is close to this, or if it's completely different, but very well done, drawn by Patrick Zurcher. As Brie and I were talking about, this is a guy who should be working on bigger books, more properties, if DC and Marvel were smart and not backwards. Indies pay better. Yep, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Marvel aren't smart either.
That's the truth. Yeah, it's the truth, though. So, but we get to learn more about this guy, the village. And they come across what was a sea skeleton that has the fangs. So
that's wild looking.
Yeah. Yep. So, and that's kind of how it ends with basically Solomon Kane showing the statue. Well, here's a more close up of that creature. Then he's got the statue. It's a snake statue. He's like, and that kind of leaves it to be concluded or continued. Honestly, I thought it was a good book, well drawn, a little more drama than I'm used to. A little. I'm more like Ninja Turtle speed, more fast paced, more jokes. Still a good book though. I'll stick with it. I really love the art. All right. So that was number. That was 12. No, that was 13. Yeah, that was 13. This is number 12 then. Grim Fairy Tales. I've been the reason I picked this up it was on a whim because I have not seen Liesel Van Helsing in any our books anymore. It's Xenoscope. It's been other characters focusing on. So here she's basically teaming up with I think her name is Siren or Serena. I think it's Serena. And her and two other girls basically go hunting for like the main vampires. They go through there's grave. Dig up the grave where the supposed like vampire was, and they find this underground lab. They're attacked, and it's like at the end, Serena gets basically bitten. And the thing is that whenever a vampire bites you in this universe, you will turn. And the fact that Serena is like a very powerful mage could be a really troublesome time for them. It's gonna be a 2-part story. The next issue, which will be number 95, will conclude the story. But yeah, so I picked that up and enjoyed the story. Like I said, the art's okay, but for the most part.
Xenoscope always has really good art. Generally.
That they do.
All right, so this is actually going to be, that was number 11. This is going to be number 10. DuckTales. Has this been fun? If you are a fan of the cartoon series, I really recommend that you actually pick this up and start reading through it. It's literally no different when you get into the Gemstone stuff back in the day, or the Don. What's his name? Don DeCarlo. What was his name? Don Lu.
I have no idea.
Breen would know, right?
What was on?
Who was the artist on the Uncle Scrooge that and the main Donald Duck and artist says Don.
You talking about in the old days?
Yeah.
Carl Barks.
Okay, Carl Barks. But there was another one too. It took afterwards in the 80s or 70s. But
Yeah, but I don't know who that was.
yeah, Don Rosa. Is that something?
There's a Don Rose. I don't know if he
Yeah,
did those or not.
but like I said, it's done the same style. They're looking for treasure. They're in this library. And they keep running into this librarian. He keeps telling them to basically shh, quiet. And throughout the books, basically you get a lot of hijinks going on here. With Launchpad shows up. He had a book. I mean, he's like, because they're kind of wise. They're like, why are you here? Well, I had a book. I don't how to basically how to teach people how to fly planes. Flying for dummies. So, and I love the storytelling. They start from the left, and they're walking down, and then they go up the stairs, and they go over to the right, and they go back up the stairs. Never seen that really done before. I personally haven't though. But yeah, it's just along the way we get stories of him just Uncle Scrooge telling flashbacks about what happened the last time he worked with Launchpad and stuff. They didn't do what he said and stuff, and it caused like Indiana Jones type, and Launchpad did not follow his correct moves, almost got them killed. So a lot of cool stuff going on in this. Classic DuckTales. It was introduced to Solomon Kane by Robert E. Howard's writing. Damn cat.
Sorry, that was my office.
I thought it was the cat knocking stuff over. I was like, there goes.
Oh, that's right. Breen's got a cat now.
This cat isn't big enough to knock anything over.
That's what you think, yeah. Yeah.
No, it's real weird. She does not. Doesn't knock things over.
Is this your baseball? Boop. Let's wait for that on the shelf. All right. Number 9 is our Darkwing Duck.
Written by Seth Rogen. I'm just kidding.
No. It's actually by Daniel Kibblesmith. And
the new Warriors guy?
Yep.
Ted Brandt and Rose Stein do the art on this.
Interesting.
This is literally no different than the cartoon series. It's just been fun. This we get to meet Dr. Bushroot, who's like basically like the I don't want to. Is that Floronic? That's all right, does it?
Sounds right.
Basically, yeah. He poses as a teacher at the school and tricks Goslin into helping him. Is you see him here?
Let's see. Bushroot.
Yeah. But I meant like as far as the other guy, the Floronic man, there's just DC.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah,
it's like the plant power, right?
It's Batman. If he was a Batman rogue, but basically a male version of Poison Ivy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
But overall, the hijinks are pretty much basic for a kid's book level, and like I said, I just enjoy these because they are kid friendly. There's no hidden subliminal messages, or that stuff. It's just basically a kid book you would read back in the 90s. This is old school Disney, what Disney used to be before it was perverted. So a lot of hijinks, a lot of stuff. Classic Darkwing Duck. Do recommend if you are looking for books for your kids. Darkwing Duck and as far as DuckTales have just been awesome reads. All right. Number 8 is Saturday Morning Adventures, Ninja Turtles. Another book I recommend for kids. Basically, this character who is basically from the cartoon series shows up again. He's like Nick Fury almost in a sense. While Donatello's out getting medicine for the other turtles because they had the 24-hour turtle flu. I know, right? It's the 87 humor. He's basically brought aboard their ship, their secret helicarrier, but he realized is this like where are we? Are we in space in a flying aircraft carrier under the ocean? He's like, even better, it's Staten Island. They're in a base. I acquires him to go after this guy who wants to take over the planet. He's called Dr. Dudebro. So Donatello is basically given like this like jetpack and all stuff. He does a little James Bond mission, and yeah, he gets to go on this platform. The guy's taking off. But if he falls off, like I said, it's a very very kind of hokey, but very kind of fun. Yes. That's why I brought up Floronic Man, Evil Black Cat. Yeah. Here's the villain. As Donatello points out, it's like, dude, it's like we already have one Mikey, and he's better than you. Quit trying to be like him. You suck. Because he's basically he's like a surfer guy, villain. Turtles. The rest of the turtles get involved. There's a lot of puns, and they save the day. So it's another fun book. Then we have Feral. Is my number 7 this week. Feral, if you're not familiar with this, it's just the creators from Stray Dogs. The guy Tony Fleeks and Tristan Forstner as on the art. And basically a bunch of Huskats were being they don't know where they're going, but they know they're in the back of the ambulance. They have crashes, and they wind up in the middle of nowhere. And they turn out all the animals are bad animals. They're sick. They all have glowing red eyes, basically, aka rabies. And they've gone this whole entire way. They've survived. One of them got turned. So old lady brought him in. Last issue, the old lady was taking them and the cats and put them in a carrier and was driving around erratically. And she ended up crashing because, one of the guys, the original cats, Patches, was in the middle of the road and caused her to swerve, and she crashed. One of the cats, the mama cats, she ends up losing one of her eye or hurting her eye in this. And they're all just trying to get out accounted for. There's even a new member that pops up they didn't know about. And then we get the giant rabies bear. Infected grizzly bear coming after them. It's like I said, it's very intense, but also very colorful too. Zach, you like this book. It's really cool. They're all just trying to survive this event. They're saved by one of their friend Patches in the beginning, and he basically, even though he's sick, he's been like confused and hungry, and he basically has been like getting in the way to save them. So I don't know if there is if he's gonna have a bad ending or whatever, but he takes on the grizzly in this. So.
Cocaine bear.
More like green slime bear. Ugh. So, and along the way, after they run away, they get cornered by a dog. Turns out the dog is actually a good dog. He's not a rabies dog, and he's got a buddy. Basically, he's like it's like of Mice and Men. You get Lenny and the other guy, not Squeaky. Fun book, man. I've been liking this. I don't know how long it's going to go, but they're on 11 issues, so we're going to get to issue 12 soon. I'll put this. Now I'll put the spoilers on because we're getting into some of the other books that people have not read yet. My number 6 this week got bumped down, but it is a good book, though. It's Batman: The Long Halloween. I guess we got Harvey is being confronted by Gilda's wife, and he basically tells her like, Harvey's gone. All is left is Two-Face. Go away. And she won't leave him alone, so she like jumps on his back like crazy, goes after him until he gets Solomon Grundy basically to carry her and throw her, lock her out the door. And they're so. And then we learn more about the two cops that were basically FBI agents that were nice with quotes, because they weren't FBI agents. They actually worked for Mario, as Amanda Waller, right there. It's Amanda Waller shows up and reveals that, hey, if you would have told me, you dumbasses, these guys aren't FBI agents. Instead, you wanna put all your faith into a guy who hides behind a mask.
Yeah, not a fan of that.
She's always been a jerk.
No, I don't like, I don't like retconning first meetings to have been, way back in the past.
But you got to realize, though, this is Elseworlds. This isn't main continuity. Long Halloween's never been.
But the Elseworlds things, don't they usually put Elseworlds on the cover?
Yeah, but
I think these are supposed to be in continuity. Not that that matters anymore.
No.
DC.
Yeah, I thought Long Halloween was
the original ones were never in main continuity because they were revealed that Carmine Falcone was Selena's father, and that wasn't a retcon. That was just an Elseworlds. So I've never looked at these being main continuity because there's so much stuff that wouldn't fit, even in Dark Victory. So it didn't really bother as much. If it was if this is supposed to be main continuity, then I'd be concerned. But we get another reconcile with Asuna Kyle. Wants to know more about her. She's got the gun. Overall, it was a fun issue. We get to see more of the Batcave, and the Batmobile. More Selena Kyle in this issue. We get Batman and Robin going up against Mr. Freeze, which I thought was really cool. And then somebody tries to take out Mr. Freeze by shooting his helmet. Batman saves him. They're just trying to figure out who is the actual person that's hunting him down. And as Robin's chasing him, Robin gets shot. So,
Oh no!
I still like that shot though. Are there? Yeah. It was main continuity for 2006. Carmine was only teased, but she finds out that she isn't. Yeah. I don't know. Like I said, I always thought it wasn't. So, Poison Ivy teaming up with, I guess, apparently Selena Kyle at the end with Mario Falcone.
I guess you avoid so many things that they've done the last year or so.
Wow.
To avoid Amanda Wawa, and then she shows up in this.
Yeah.
I said, that did look good.
You can't get. Yeah. Well, it's because she just smelled some of Harley's awesome farts.
But as far as Amanda Water goes, she showed up in the cartoon series too, Justice League Unlimited and stuff.
Yeah, I don't watch cartoons, so I don't care about that.
So I'm just saying, I'm used to her being a thorn in the side. She's the government agent spook, it's always there,
I prefer Mr. Bones for that role.
Well, it's funny you say Mr. Bones.
Well, yeah, if Marvel wants to trade for Amanda Waller, so they can have her next to Kamala Khan and all the retcon stories they're doing.
Oh, alrighty then. Getting on to the top 5. Top 5 this week is Superman. Number 5. I did not read the previous issue. I went back into it, just on a whim. Someone walked away with 2 issues. I grabbed one from each shop apparently, so now I have 2 of these.
So I was walked away with the previous issue, and then
it's a Warren 2 front, so I got 2 of these because I didn't know which fronts are on. I'm hoping that Lois is gonna lose her power soon. I mean, I feel like they're kind of overstaying their purpose. Yeah. Like I said, it's interesting to see where they're gonna go with this, but right now it's been okay. It's not great in my eyes, But basically, it's revealed the old trope, like, oh, we're gonna, Superman, we're gonna help you, but we're gonna take your technology that you have and sell it on the black market, or sell it to people. It's like it's like, you have all this technology. Why don't you share with the people? Don't be greedy. It's a trope that's been done before, and I'm thinking like, well, there's a reason why certain things should never be allowed in certain people's hands. That's why it's kept under lock and key. Superman's Kryptonian technology should never be in the hands of any human, even if it's life-saving, because it can always be used against him. So, meanwhile, because there's a Justice League alert, he can't show up, and Lois goes in instead. We get to see Mr. Terrific, Vixen, both Blue Beetles, Ted and Jamie, or Jaime. A lot of rain fights, I almost thought this was a Jim Lee book. That's literally when I read Hush today. it was just rain after rain after rain in each issue. But yeah, main thing is basically Lex is still a good guy, and well, it turns out Mercy's not really a nice person. But yeah, some people are upset because Lena Luthor or not. What's her name? Is it Lena? Is it that?
Mhm.
Okay, I get confused because his sister's name is also Lena as well. Basically, like because Lex's memories come back, the sheriff shows up and basically arrests Lex Luthor and bring him back in. He's like, well, and Superman's like, well, I'm the one that told him, because he can't trust him. And Lex agrees to go. Creeper's teaming up with Lois. They come across his gun. Only reveal that it is a Superman logo on the side of it. And meanwhile, Lena's having it out with Superman, saying, "How dare you? How could you do this?" and stuff. He explains, only being interrupted by a Rob Liefeld gun. Literally, this is the size of the gun that came with the action figure when Superman returns in the black costume. That was the toy action figure. I thought it was kind of funny, but this was the biggest real, and I don't understand this. But apparently, she's got kryptonite heart from Metallo.
She's Metallo's daughter or something?
No, this is Mercy Graves. And the big reveal, though, I don't know how I feel about this. And remember, this is spoilers. That's why I have the thing going across the screen. So if you don't want to be spoiled, turn away. She created her own Superman using Lex's DNA.
No, she created her own Lex.
But he's using Kryptonian DNA.
Yeah, but Merch said she didn't like what Lex had become, so she built her own.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what if Lex were Superman but evil?
Yeah. So next is going to have Superman versus Lex Luthor. Looking forward to that because I said up until that last page, I was just like, okay, let's drop the other shoe. Let's go. What's going on with this? So I'll be picking up the next issue to read that. But like I said, I don't care for Lois with the Superwoman powers. I think it's overstated. But if you guys like it, you guys like it. All right, number 4 for me. He names his daughter after his sister. That's what I thought. It was kind of weird. And they lured Lana Waller into the promise of her own KFC franchise. Yeah. So the next one is Green Lantern. This was a lot of fun. I'm still kind of sad that it's not Cassie. It's the other girl, Persephone or whatever the hell her name is.
Odyssey.
Thank you. Yeah, it's but they're going against another dude, which I basic Starbreaker. Yeah, because he has to say his name because a lot of people will forget who the hell he is. He's forgettable. And so basically, they're fighting over it because they have the Source Orb, and yeah, the bad guys end up getting it only because Sorrow uses his dull personality to make people cry. Yeah. He's so depressing. He's like, when a cat does a big tearful eyes, people get sad. That's his powers. So, and she's, Connor gets to have a moment with her and kind of like wants to bond with her. And almost to the point where you're going to see Connor maybe and them become an item at the end. Who knows? But they relay their information going on, and basically they have no choice. But they said in order to stop get ahead of this, they're going to start recreating the other lanterns. But we'll see how that goes. But meanwhile, I didn't like this. Got this other metahuman down there. Forgive me if he's actually supposed to be someone from the past. I don't know. I think he seems like he's a new person. But Carol and Hal team up and take him down. Only for, Howard shows up.
No, not Howard.
Hector. Sorry, Hector. It's
Hector Hammond.
Cat, when did he lose his giant head?
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't remember him losing his big head, but...
Yeah. Oh, the skull?
No,
Hector Hammond.
Oh, yeah,
That's Mr.
yeah.
Bone. Hector
Oh,
Hammond
oh,
used to have this gigantic head because of his brain. It's kind of like the leader.
Oh,
But
yeah, I know. He was in the movie.
somewhere between the leader and MODOK.
Well, yeah, he was. I know because this is the guy that was in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
he was in the Hal Jordan movie.
Yeah, so I was confused when I showed who I had to look it up who this was because I had no idea who he was. This is another random guy to me. I knew Bones, from Stargirl. In Infinity Inc., I think he popped up in. So, but it turns out that the bad guy is still a bad guy. He's just working for them, using them their means for that end, to his own personal gain.
It was right after Dark Knight's death metal ring.
And so here's the other thing. So they're sneaking in. They come across this, and there's Kyle and the rest of the Scooby-Doo gang. Is that Oliver Queen?
I have no idea who that is. I don't have a clue.
It
kind of looks like him, though.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for my camera to zoom in. It's not gonna. New camera sucks.
You have to wait till next issue.
Yeah.
Add him on X and see.
Yeah.
Like, hey, is this Green Arrow?
It isn't.
No. Meanwhile, because they got to break into somewhere in order to get in there, and so it's like, well, we need someone who can sneak in there. Well, we get Dawn. I didn't know that she was a stealthy power. It was part of being stealthy. Was part of her powers. Was that always been her power set?
I mean, she's not brash and angry like Hawk is. It kind of makes sense.
But because this is a guy. He took the guy's brain apart and just basically is rebuilding his brain. He checked himself. He's rebuilding his power set. So that's the reveal at the end. Overall, I care more about what's going on with Kyle and Connor than I do with the rest of the team. I don't know why. It's just that they're just written better than the other characters. It's all Jeremy Jordan. I was going to say Jeremy Jordan. Jeremy Adams.
You muted yourself.
Oh, we can't hear you.
I can hear Zach. Zach can hear me.
Yep. Did your microphone come unplugged, maybe?
Can you hear me?
I hear you.
You're good.
Can you hear me now?
Now.
There he is.
On my end, it shows it's still working. So I don't know what happened, but what's the last thing you heard?
You said we were all cool and you were just happy to be streaming with us.
That's exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth.
I said exactly that while I was muted, so you wouldn't hear it. No. Number 3 is I'm more biased towards this because it's biased by my number 3 spot because I like the character. Very, very fun character, and just storyline in general. We're getting Spider-Man, more than one, teaming up in this. Also, I love this. Here, they show you the cover, but here's the inside. That's actually the full print art. I thought that was really cool. I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, we get a basically they're on a vacation. I guess it's been a couple months or so, at least a month after what happened with Harry and stuff. But yeah, they're camping somewhere, and then Parker still got that awesome facial hair, and Mary Jane just kind of looks like the video game character, the one everybody hated.
No, she looks better than Jane.
Yeah.
Usually.
So basically, this is basically this whole other issue was kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like a family bonding moment, more so for Peter and his son Richard, who's now using the suit, and they agree to meet somewhere because the old guy who's at the trailer park says, "Don't go over this area. People have gone missing." So they use this as a way to explore. After Mary Jane convinces Peter to go look to be a hero and go help. And they kind of have a father to father to son conversation, because the symbiote costume basically has Peter's personality, and they both agree. They have like a Peter to Peter talk. Well, about Richard's still there, and basically keeping him safe at all costs, no matter what happens to me. You keep him, protect him, and they're make sure they're on the same page. They come to this like little like abandoned facility. Turns out it's where Sandman's there. And this guy, he's been attacking people, and there's this energy thing every 3 seconds. It charges up and it pulses, and it's been keeping him for the past 4 years from becoming actual person. So Richard decides, well, why don't we turn it off once, So in order to save his dad, he turns off the device. We get a story about how Flint Marco was actually, I think he said he was a journalist. Or just looking into the
I don't think he said his name was Flint Marco, though. I don't know who this guy is. I don't think it's Flint Marco.
Yeah. So exactly clear. I'm just a normal guy who got curious. He called me after I cut through the fence, snuck in the base. So he didn't say his name. You're right. But we all know it's Flint. But yeah, he's like, thanks to you. So now Spider-Man has another ally if he needs to. A lot of bonding with Mary Jane. So for those who have been missing this for the past how many years? Since 2007? No, getting to see them actually.
No, we don't miss it. We just think we do.
Right. Meanwhile, Peter's been keeping tabs, with Uncle Ben by pretending to be a solicitor, asking about his health insurance stuff, only for the Kingpin to show up and set, and basically, this was kind of interesting. Like, he kind of comes in and kind of strong arms him, and he basically turns back. He's like, no, I want you to keep digging. I want you to keep looking for information because I can't do it pretty much. So Kingpin pretty much wants him to keep being looking into things, which I thought was kind of interesting because I did not expect that from Kingpin.
Well, it was the other thing they disclosed that was kind of chilling.
About the two FBI guys.
No, about killing every Ben Reilly on Earth.
Oh, that too. But yeah. Overall, I thought it was good. But I mean, like I said, I can see why some people are like, well, this wasn't as great. It wasn't a lot of action. It was just you had 5 minutes of Superman, or not, it's not Superman, but 5 minutes of Spider-Man. I still like it though for what it is. All right then. Well, number 2 this week is another series, another book. Well, I haven't read this anything from this title in about 3 years, just because who they put on it. But I got the Batman 158, I believe it is. Yeah, 158. This is the J. Scott Campbell cover.
That's nice. You don't see him do many guys on the covers. It's usually all girls.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's really good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, and if you want to read the original, So, I also want to show up. I also get the other cover, the Chicharito variant for Spider-Man.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it had a little bit of corner damage, so I got $1 off it.
That's cool.
And then also I picked up the glow in the dark cover for Hush, because that's all my shop had left, and I did not want to pay $15 for the giant one. So, but overall, I probably like this a lot more than maybe some of the other guys here. They've read this.
Yeah, whoever gets paid $15 for the giant one is a sucker.
Well, Jay got an ash can to go with it too. No, not to burn it and put it into an actual art. So there was an incentive. So, but it wasn't even a magazine size. It was like it was bigger than a Treasury. It was like 11 by 17, dude, like a poster size. That's my art print. I have. It's a Harley Quinn. Poison Ivy one. Yeah. So I actually dig this. So we got Batman versus these basically Joker henchmen who basically end up throwing these Joker fish, as you can see here, to try and poison the Gotham City harbor or river, I guess, whatever. And as he takes them out one by one, their masks come up and they Jokerize, and then they die. Joker gas. Then of course we get Joker hits him over the back of the head, knocks him out, hits his cowl, he falls in the water with the piranha, and it's just really cool. as in the water, because whenever he says like the collar gets removed, it'll let you get the person, or it'll lay like a gas out, spray and knock them out. But because he got hit in the correct spot, he got electrocuted too. He was sitting there drowning, only to be saved by someone diving in there, who's swimming in the water, who turns out to be Talia. And Joker gets picked up by this goon, a new character. Well, I thought was working for Talia at first, but it turns out he's not. And he's meanwhile we get clued in as far as what's going on with the Oracle and what I should say background now, and Dick Grayson are in the clock tower. They find that basically Bruce's signal goes dark and jammed. Batman's, we find out that Batman is going to saved by Talia, and she says like, why did you save me? It's like, well, I came in here to see my son, but it wouldn't be right, to let you die, pretty much. Joker is pretty much being attacked. He's strapped to this wheel, and it's got someone throwing scalpels at him. Turns out it's Hush. We had found out at the end of the other issue that basically it was this Thomas Elliot, supposedly, but because Joker, anyway, so basically he's being like tortured like horrendously in this. He has like a stretcher in his mouth. So basically, the more he screams, the more it opens up in his mouth. It makes him worse. And while he's been spun around, basically, he's basically like the scalpels are being thrown at him like blood darts. And Hush says like, I nicked every one of your arteries. You'll be bled out in a couple hours. So. Of course, Batman wants to go after Joker. We get a shot of basically the art here with the cards. I mean, that's what I thought was really cool. Like Jim Lee can still draw, and honestly, that's what he should be doing at DC is drawing. He should not be in any other role other than that.
I'm glad he can still do something.
Right? But the art in this is just awesome. I'm coming off of just reading Hush and then picking this up and reading this right after. Literally feels like it's 2002. His art style, I honestly cannot tell it's changed or not. But finds Joker, and Joker is just kind of it's in there, and it turns out that Joker has been used, and it's just like it literally just reads like like Jeff Loeb has not missed a beat at all on this, and he realized only one person who could do this precision with the scalpel is his little buddy Thomas Elliot.
That's not what it was. If you read what he says, he goes through this little jump of logic, and he knew he had to know who he was, and he had to know about his history. There's nothing in this thing that shows that the guy knows who it is. It's just he knows the history, which would probably be the reservoir. Joker's first meeting with Batman would be in the news. All that other stuff would have been in the news. So
who doesn't know? Batman knows who it is at the end.
Yeah, no, that. He's assuming that it's Hush because he knew about the history of the stuff and that he knows who he is. But there's no indication that the person who's doing
one man with the knowledge who I am what I believe in, who has the skills to execute what he sees in the game. My childhood friend, renowned surgeon Thomas Elliot. Hush has returned. That's what he says.
No, but I'm saying his reasoning for making that leap is, I thought, was a little faulty. Because
I mean, we literally saw Hush doing it before. So if it's not Hush, it's somebody else pretend to be Hush. But I don't know. I had no problem with this. If you had issues with that, you can talk about when you get to your turn. But honestly, I thought it was a really good book. I thought it was awesome. Just everything on this. It call back to when it's just I love it. So, all right, number one book of the week. I ended up getting the Jenny Frison cover for this one. Justice League Unlimited. I believe number 5. Yeah. 5.
That looks so much like Jim Bartel.
Doesn't it?
It's rather uncanny. It looks the figures, the line work, it looks almost identical.
Well, I could say this: maybe Jenny Bartel copied Jenny Frison because Jenny Frison's been doing this for a while too, as well.
I wonder if that's maybe just like another name that she works under, maybe, so she can get paid twice.
But I love this. I just go. It's literally the cartoon, bro.
That it is. No, it is. It is definitely. It is literally the opening to the cartoon.
Yeah, it's
It's funny.
But it has this cover, but it also has the inside cover. So, which I always thought was weird. Why do that? Just put on a normal cover like this, print it. Yeah, this was fun because this actually ties into Superman. Is why they can't get Superman because Superman's busy, and especially when they find out who did this. There's no way it could be Lex Luthor because Lex Luthor, for Legion of Doom, Lex Luthor is like a nice guy. He's a good guy right now. He doesn't have his memories. But basically, they're the Justice League's there to protect a bunch of delegates, and they get transported into this weird world. And Bart's kind of just becoming like kind of useless. Everybody's yelling at him, do this, and Wally's just like, just stand still. Yeah, talking about the Legion of Doom right there. Very fun issue. There's one scene here that really made me laugh. I was laughing because this is literally like, it feels like we're going back to when Mark Waid back in the day, old school Mark Waid. So while Bart's standing there, and I love it, the inner monologue bubbles. I love that.
That was pretty great.
Did Mark Waid write Impulse back in the day? His own series, or did he just write them in Flash only?
I know he wrote Flash. I don't know if he wrote Impulse.
But I love this. Like, even get to him at the top here. We get he's told the stage to be put. You're messing up.
He did write Impulse.
So right there, he's like, Scratch, I told you, Superman, you weren't great at teamwork. Just stand there side or a sec, okay, over there. A wet blanket. So I kind of love the art on this. And yeah, so honestly, adding Impulses was really cool. Oh, a lot of bots over on Twitch tonight. But yeah, man. So I'll show the pages, but I mean, you guys are gonna have to sit there and read this for yourself because unless Zach's gonna tell you more about it. But overall, art is fun in this. When the reveal of like who, as far as Gorilla Grodd apparently has the Martian Manhunter's mind powers. And so does that mean that the whole entire Secret Order has been the Legion of Doom this whole entire time, or are they working with that? Forget what they're called. Infernal. Is Infernal been the Legion of Doom? But yeah, at the end of this, which is really, as I said, the very last page, and this is a spoiler, a huge spoiler. The Legion of Doom, but this is the old school Legion of Doom. This is from the past, and they're there to wreak havoc with the Justice League. But yeah, very awesome issue. Alrighty, final thing I got this week was the Big Burn. For those who are familiar with this, was basically a group of criminals are put together to basically enter hell and steal their souls back. And
I knew that sounded familiar. I was just looking up to see if I had that.
Yeah. So three issue series written by Joe Henderson. Artist is Lee Garbett, and Lee Luffridge is the colorist.
Yeah, I do have that.
Yeah. Tells you more about the devil here. So basically, the why he is, because when he had disobeyed God, God took away his emotion, his soul to feel anything, and it's revealed in this. And basically, that's why he, the way he is. And basically, the group gets together to break into into hell. After it all, temporarily they hire someone to basically kill them and bring them back in life. And they have to overcome their odds. His wife basically goes around and works the casino table to work for information. It's a really good series. Well, I guess she's not his wife yet, not yet, but yeah. And the kind of devil who was warned about by one of the guys who betrayed him last issue is onto their whole entire ruse. But because they're one step ahead of the devil, and so as she's distracting him, she can't find the other guy at the table. The main guy character, he's gone. He's off the cameras, and so they think he's going for the vault. Turns out he's not. And as everyone in the crew gets back together, turns out that they're actually not going for the vault. They're going for basically the devil's office, because that's where he keeps everybody's souls in there, not in the vault. And overall, it had a very good ending. It left it open to be another. They could continue it if they wanted to. I would love to see another part with this, another 3 issues. So, but yeah, that's it for this week for me then. All right, who wants to go next?
Sure, I'll go.
Oh, sorry, I was just redoing my brace.
That's okay. It's all good. I should probably turn my camera on.
You could do that.
Jesus, Paul Bunyan.
I know.
Where have you been, Geekeasy? He's had this over like 3 months now.
Yeah, I know, but it's not been this long.
I was telling somebody yesterday, I think I'm going to go get it trimmed up a little bit.
Zach, you need like the Miami Vice beard, where it just like covers your face, but it doesn't really affect your profile.
So you're saying you're kind of like Tubbs when he grows his beard.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay, yeah, I can see it.
Because I said
3-day shadow.
Yeah, Zach, you're not always going to have these matinee idol good looks. You might as well show them off while you got them.
I'm a prime example of that.
Like me and Jeff, and you grow beards to cover chins.
Yeah, all 8 of mine.
I do miss being mistaken for 29. All right. So,
yeah, everyone thinks I'm 21.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I've got 5 meh books and 5 really good books. And I haven't heard RDB talk about any of these, so I get to talk some. All right.
Well, yeah, you get all the books I don't like.
Well, and then some. All right, we're gonna start off with pirated this one. I actually did pirate something. I know. Shut up. Oh, like you've never done that before, RDB.
I don't pirate things. I pay from Comixology.
Okay. Well, I wanted to see if this might be worth it, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, I think, but it wasn't bad.
Not as good as it once was.
But as good once as it ever was. I think that's right. It is Fantastic Four versus Godzilla. I got the Fight Night poster.
Only put the flag back up there.
So this is written by he who will not be named.
Ryan North?
Yeah, that guy.
I thought you were done with them, bro.
I was, but I wanted to. So this is.
They pulled it back in.
This takes place in the past. It's not a concurrent canon story. I believe the art is. I believe the artist is not your favorite. I think it's John Romita Jr. Let me see here. I'm trying.
Who are you talking to? Which one of us?
You're the one that doesn't like John Romita Jr.
I don't think a lot of us here like John Romita Jr.
I like John Romita Jr. There's no cover. There's no title where they give people the credit. Good Lord.
Because they're afraid of people not buying the book.
Yeah, maybe. Well, I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, this is how you start. Godzilla vaporizing the Statue of Liberty.
Yes.
It's pretty great. So you get Fantastic Four, and they go and they try to stop Godzilla. You got a lot of these, actually. A lot of these double-page spreads that are just really cool. Reed tries to stop it. He zapped the. Oh no! Here it is. It is. Yeah, it is. They went all the way in. Yeah, John Romita Jr. He's the artist on this. Penciler, I should say.
Man, there's a lot of good artists at Marvel.
Yeah. So, they zap Godzilla. They basically turn the Baxter building into a giant taser. a building-sized taser, and it zaps Godzilla. But then as soon as they zap Godzilla, King Ghidorah shows up, and it turns out King Ghidorah, who's, by the way, besides Godzilla, my favorite of the Godzilla monsters.
Why isn't he yellow?
Because he has the power cosmic, because Galactus came across him in outer
really?
space and turned him into a herald. So the Fantastic Four, they can't fight him. They're all worn out from fighting Godzilla. Silver Surfer, who shows up, he can't fight him. He can't take him on by himself with just his power cosmic. So what he ends up doing is he gives the power cosmic to Godzilla. So it's Cosmic Godzilla versus Cosmic King Ghidorah. You get some pretty cool stuff here. The Thing and the Human Torch end up fighting with Godzilla. You see, like, there's this thing where he's breathing atomic fire, and Human Torch is, going right next to them, shooting fire off. They do the thing where the Thing uses Mr. Fantastic as a rubber band and launches them at King Ghidorah. So overall, it's pretty good. It's a one shot. It's kind of like a little time machine, going back to this older era of Marvel. Some really fun kaiju fight stuff. But if you like kaiju fights, this is worth picking up, I think. And yeah, that's it. Very simple little one and done story. They kind of, they're doing a whole bunch of Godzilla versus different heroes. So like the next one's Godzilla versus Hulk.
So they're one shot Elseworlds?
One shot, not necessarily Elseworlds, but...
Or do you think they'll tie together at the end?
I think they may all tie them together. From what I understand, a lot of them take places at different points in history. Like, there's going to be a Godzilla versus the Avengers, but it's going to be like the new Avengers, the Bendis team, where like Luke Cage and Spider-Man and Wolverine and Spider-Woman were on the team, like that era. So from what I understand, it's going to be like just different points in Marvel history where they fought Godzilla. So it's not necessarily Elseworlds. It's kind of like World's Finest is. It's back in the past. So anyway, it was good. It was all right. It's a nice one-shot story. I like the art. It's just not anything that made me go, wow, necessarily. Then we got Green Arrow, issue number 22. You've got the Freshwater Killer. Turns out there's actually a whole cult of freshwater killers, or a whole lot of people who are like these victims of this community that was poisoned by a corporation. They all decided to dress the same and call themselves the Freshwater Killer.
They're poison. They're related to Poison Ivy.
No,
They're all eco-terrorists.
no, they're not eco-terrorists. They just want payback because they have people who were killed or got cancer or different things from the toxic like sludge and whatever that this corporation was doing right under the
And
ground.
Oliver signed off on.
Wait, what's that?
And Oliver signed off on when he was head of the corporation.
They haven't talked about that in a while. He was only head of that corporation for a minute.
I bet you the rest of them are all Trump supporters.
No, I mean, the head of if it is, it's a really diverse looking group of Trump supporters. I mean, it's all these people right here.
They're the bad guys?
Yeah, those are the bad guys. This is like the therapy session. And all these guys end up being the Freshwater Killer. From what I can tell, from what I can deduce. So Oliver Queen, he goes off. He's got his motorcycle here with his raincoat. Talked about rain images earlier. The detective that he's been working with, she takes her dog and they go to the community, the freshwater community, just kind of scoping the place out. And they're confronted by the killers. She lets the dog off the leash to go like defend herself and defend the dog. The dog's like attacking these guys. And I thought we were going to get a John Wick moment because they're talking about hitting the dog. And so you see like these heavily shaded panels here at the bottom. It's like, I thought they were going to kill this dog. I was really about to be like, why would you do this? But no, the dog lived. He's hurt, but he's living. So Oliver Queen shows up in this town, and there's not a whole lot else that happens. He shows up. There's some panels of him walking around trying to find where the detective's been kidnapped and taken off to. But then, by the time you get to the end, I mean, it's already over. It's pretty well over by the time anything starts to pick up. So kind of slow. Overall, it's good. The art's been good. Who is the artist here? This is Montos doing the art. So the art's good. Just a little bit slow with the action. I feel like there's been a big tone shift since Josh Williamson came off of it. I'm not sure if I like it or not. But so far it's not anything like offensively bad. So then we got G.I. Joe. This is Real American Hero, number 315. So this is fallout from the Cobra Mars giant battle that took place on Cobra Commander's orders. The Baroness got shot, and Destro had her put in like a coma, an induced coma to keep her alive. So Destro's got Cobra Commander locked up in his castle. And basically, his fate is determined by whether Baroness lives or dies. And then you have the Revanche, which are like these cyborgs that helped create the crazy super mutant soldiers. They go over to Cobra Island, and they're just kind of taking stock. It's like this giant worm-looking guy. Let me see if I can find a better picture. He looks like he came out of Dune or something. He's this giant worm guy. He's got like this supreme AI intelligence type thing going on. And so he's talking about, okay, well, we're going to hold on to these cyborgs. We're going to destroy all of these guys and da-da-da-da-da. Meanwhile, you've got like 4 Joes that found their way back to the mainland, floating on a sarcophagus, for lack of a better term. Something that they got from Cobra Island while they were there on a recon mission. So, pretty good issue. The Scarlet, Snake Eyes, the whole little ninja subsect of G.I. Joe, they go back to the old pit. The pit they're at right now is a newer location, so they go back to an old pit that they've been fixing up, and there's like a dojo that they've got set up inside. So that's a little side thing going on there. Nothing really big.
So Cobra's dojo, are they going to go and make it a Kai?
That'd be funny.
I gotta say, be stuck in that base is probably the pits.
Kind of lackluster. I mean, not lackluster. It's just kind of quiet compared to some of the previous issues. Because, like I said, it's just coming off of like that big, huge, issues-long battle sequence. We've got Ultimate Wolverine. This is issue number 3. This was, I think, the best issue so far. In this one, we get Ultimate Kitty Pryde and also Ultimate Gambit and Black Widow, actually. Natalia Romanova is in here, too.
Nice.
So Gambit, Kitty, and Black Widow, they all seem to be part of this. There's this opposition or this resistance to the, what's the name? The Rasputins. Because the Rasputins are kind of in charge over all of Russia and most of Europe. But they've got like this opposition that's been they're kind of like these freedom fighters that have been fighting against them.
I checked out that issue. It actually looked kind of decent.
Yeah, but this was the best issue so far, I think.
Gambit and Kitty Pryde.
They made Gambit Nick Fury. They gave him an eye patch, which is actually kind of a boss look. It's actually pretty cool. I thought this was Jean Grey. I didn't think this was Black Widow.
It is Black Widow, yeah. With the gauntlets, yeah, the arms.
Yeah, I didn't even see the gauntlets when I read this at like 9:00 this morning, so I didn't even notice the gauntlets. But yeah, they talk. There's like this whole mission briefing thing because Wolverine, he's got like these soldiers that are with him. They send Wolverine hunting for the freedom fighters. He's got these guys behind him. So
that's not Psylocke that's with them too, is it? It's someone else?
No, not Psylocke. These are just normal nameless soldiers.
Okay. No, I meant as far as Gambit and them.
No, just Gambit and Kitty are the only two. There was Nightcrawler in the first issue, but they had.
Yeah, I was just curious who the other woman was because you had Kitty Pryde, you had Natasha, and then there was another one.
Incidentally, so here's another one. This is Godzilla versus X-Men, but it looks like the X-Men '97 team. If you look at the costumes, so
yeah,
again, just different eras of history. But yeah, no, Gambit and Kitty, they're apparently a thing. There are a couple here. Kitty doesn't look like a kid, though, so that's probably why they're doing that. Gambit still talks with this Cajun accent, which is funny because they're in Russia.
No Rogue yet.
No Rogue yet. don't even know if they will be. I mean, maybe I guess they could
Let's
be.
say in this world she's with Magneto.
Oh gosh, don't even please.
Or is he
Wolverine
Ryan?
shows up at this base as they're trying to get out. He's like slicing through doors. I do like this outfit. This look for Wolverine is really cool. There's this truck that Black Widow and Gambit, they're driving the cab of. Wolverine, he catches up to it, lifts open the back, and it's Kitty Pryde. There's all these kids that are trying to escape from Russia that she's protecting. And so Wolverine tries to stab through her. Obviously, that doesn't work because, it's Kitty Pryde. And then she does the thing. She puts her fingers in his brain. It's very, it's like the movie. It's like Deadpool Wolverine. Puts her fingers all in his brain. And it looks like this might start to trigger some memories because he's got like the whole Weapon X amnesia thing, right? So I think this is going to trigger some of his memories. They show some different things. Like they show him fighting, there's like him with a sentinel head and, him, running wild with wolves and all kinds of different stuff. So,
Yeah, it looks like Moon Shadow or whatever her name was.
Whatever her name was, yeah. I mean, it could be her, I guess. So, yeah, overall, this was good. This was a really good issue. This was solid. This was Alessandro Capuccio. So now I know why he hasn't been on Moon Knight recently.
Do you know what that costume reminds you of? Wolverine the X-Men cartoon.
A little bit.
Because it's more close to the orange kind of a thing.
A little bit. Was that Wolverine in the X-Men, or was it the... Oh, what was that series? The one where
he's also an Evolution as well.
Evolution. That's the one I was thinking of. Evolution.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one where he's a teacher, but like everyone else seemed to be a student. I think Storm was a teacher too. All right, and then I got this one. This is Absolute Martian Manhunter. This is the first issue. This is trippy, by the way. This is really trippy. Some cool stuff. There is some cool stuff in here. I don't think I'll get all of them. So apparently this was supposed to be a 6-issue miniseries. Denise Camp announced on X today that it actually got extended out to a 12-issue miniseries. Maybe it becomes an ongoing if people keep buying it. I don't know. But it's not bad. And the art's not even bad. The art is interesting compared to all the other Absolute books we've seen. So you've got Agent Jones right here. Who is like this FBI agent, or he works for this government agency, and he was caught up in an explosion, like a bomber attacked a coffee shop, and he was like knocked out, concussed, and everything. And so he goes to see the doctor, and the doctor's like, well, you need to take some time off. But he's such a, I don't know if it's so much him, or if it's now he's got like the Martian in his brain that he just wants to go back to work. So he like lies to his wife. He's like, no, the agency's making me work. And then he's telling his job that he wants to work and all that stuff. The art's not bad. It's very two-dimensional in a lot of ways.
Doesn't his wife's eyes glow in one of the panels too?
Yeah, there's a panel. So like you got this. So this is normal where he's sitting in the office. And then this is under the influence of the Martian. It gets very, very trippy. So
he's a Martian, but doesn't remember he's a Martian.
Yeah, well, the Martian, so this is mainly, most of it, I think, is told from Jones's perspective, not necessarily that of the Martian. I'm trying to find, there's one cool page in here. I thought it was really unique. Yeah, so he starts like breathing in, he sees and breathes in this smoke, and that's kind of like, he's able to like hear people's thoughts, and he's able to like deduce and know things that he shouldn't know. And it gets really trippy. This is like, I think some of this is trippier than Rossmo's art, honestly.
Isn't that Rossmo?
Yeah, right. No, this is not Riley Rossmo. Riley Rossmo did do a Martian Manhunter series a while back, but this is not it.
So who's art?
This artist is Javier Rodriguez. Wow. So there's this really cool page. I don't even know if I can do it because I don't know if the light will work for me. But there's this page right here. If you hold this up to a light source,
I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
There's this guy. He bleeds through, and it just it completes this whole. And I can't really get a good picture.
I can see it though. Yeah, I can see it. Yeah.
But he calls himself the what is it? The Martian Mind Effer. It's really weird when he starts to like communicate with the Martian in his brain. Very trippy. I don't hate it. I probably just won't. it's very different compared to like Superman and Flash and Batman. So it's this seems like it would be almost like a skip book. It's not so much super heroics and punches and everything. It's very trippy, very I don't know.
It was a skip book for me.
So I got that first issue, but I probably won't be picking that up regularly. All right, now we got the top 5. There are 5 here, right? Or are there 4? Did I miscount? No, there's 5. Okay. Most of these Vinkman has talked about, so I'll kind of just go through them.
Oh, give me your thoughts.
Okay, well, we got Green Lantern number 21. Not a ton of Hal in this. Honestly, this kind of almost felt like a Green Lantern core book because most of it was on Kyle and Connor, and then there was like all the other Green Lanterns on Oa. Hal kind of seemed like he only got about a third of the book to show up in, which I don't hate. I like everything that Jeremy Adams is writing here, but it seemed a little weird. I like the Connor and Kyle and Odyssey sub story. That's really cool. I like seeing Hector Hammond come back. That's also really cool. He's a villain I don't think we've really seen a lot of in a large amount of time. So I like that. Also, I really like the Hal riding the motorcycle. I don't know. That's really cool. The Hawk and Dove bit was neat. Oh, the Dove, not Hawk and Dove. Yeah. So
I want Hawk 2 back. Yeah,
I know you do. Yeah, you're the Hawk and Dove fan.
Hawk, yeah.
Hal Jordan showing up at the Watchtower was fun. Hopefully, we see him with some more like Justice League stories. Well, we did this week, but yeah, good issue of Green Lantern. Enjoyed that. We've also got Superman number 24, The War on Two Fronts. It's very interesting. So yeah, Mercy. So the whole thing is Mercy is, and she said this almost from the very beginning, that Supercorp is a business and they need to make money to keep the families employed, and that's why Superman kind of was able to find some other ways of making the company profit. But now it's like, okay, well, we've got to do more. So that's where you were saying, like, yeah, we've got to use some, not necessarily Superman's technology, but technology they've come up with, I guess.
Based off of him.
Based off him, yeah. So, and of course, he's not a big fan of that. Also, apparently, they're not a fan of Lex and Mercy starting a relationship. That was kind of funny. Kind of saw that coming, but I think they've alluded to that in previous issues.
Well, they have in the Superman special.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor special.
You see Lois on the Justice League spread there with the team. I thought that was really fun.
Rain.
neat little piece here. Nice panels. Creeper being in there, I thought was cool. Lex Luthor still seems like he wants to do the right thing. I don't think he's gone back to being fully evil yet. I also completely forgot about the police chief of Metropolis. I completely forgot about this guy.
Yeah, I was like, who is that? I thought that was
Chief Kakawa.
I thought that was Steve at first.
Yeah. But so that was wild. Then Lois shows up with the gun, the Superman logo on it, kind of that about face. Mercy just kind of plays it off like it's not a big deal. I think there's got to be more going on here because I feel like Mercy's had just as much development as Lex has. So for her to just be this kind of evil shadow agent waiting, that seems, I don't know, it seems too easy or too sudden. I feel like there's got to be something else going on. But her having the kryptonite heart's not weird because she does have, like, she has a cyborg or an android or something like that. She does have
what her arm was. I didn't realize what the rest of her body was.
I mean, at least her arm and her heart. I don't know if it's her entire body or not. But then
kryptonite. That's a
Dwayne Johnson clone there in the two. So I don't know. That would be interesting to pick up on.
Lex got kryptonite poisoning.
Yeah.
Post-crisis, Lex said, I don't know if that's still a thing anymore. Maybe they ruled that out.
I don't know, maybe.
The whole kryptonite ring who went all time started killing him.
We got Ultimate Spider-Man, issue number 15. I was wondering how they were going to do this after the last issue where Kraven kills Harry and Spider-Man, Peter Parker's like, they know who I am, my family is, so we got to be on the run. So they take off and they go to like one of those RV lots that you see. Which I was like, okay, well, that's an interesting take on things, interesting twist on things. So they've got like neighbors. I like the neighbor that's like the conspiracy nut guy. He's like, oh no, the UFO sighters are in this row, and then the conspiracy theory guys are on. That was pretty funny.
Yeah, the guys I think might be FBI agents watching us or in the other row.
What I don't know, man. This guy could end up being. This could be like the Vulture or something. The way he looks, like he could. I don't think he is, but because they say his name is.
I was getting more like Doc Ock with those goggles at first.
Well, the thing is, Doc Ock is already.
Yeah,
like we've already met Doc Ock. Then you see Richard Parker here having his teenage crush texting conversation here. Message not sent. He starts freaking out because he can't get a signal. So that was funny. He starts cursing, and so Peter has to go all Captain America and say language. There's this neat dialogue. There's kind of this back and forth between him and Richard, and then the AI, the Venom AI. Peter's like, he's telling the AI, this between me and my son, you saved my son. And the AI's like, no, I'll save everybody because that's what you would do. And then, you do get the Sandman fight scene. It's pretty cool. I was also kind of laughing. I was like, you know what? If this was 3 years ago and somebody saw this, they would think it's Peter and Miles because Miles is the black suit. So now it's reversed. Now it's a ginger in the suit. That's a wild about face. Richard figures out how to beat the Sandman. They go into his store. It might very well be from. He's got that classic Norman Osborn hair, the hairlines at least. So I don't know who this guy is. It looks like he was caught by AIM. Also, did you notice that? Like, these are the beekeeper outfits.
Yeah, Flint had the same kind of look and everything too. So
he did. And then you get Peter and MJ in the giant spider web. Now, some of the cooler stuff I thought was when you go back to New York, there's Ben and Jonah, and they're meeting with Kingpin and Wesley. And I really liked it because at first they're like, "Oh, Kingpin's going to shut us down," and Kingpin's like, "No, you're just a useful distraction." He kind of belittles them. My favorite part was at the very end. Ben's talking to Wesley, and he's like, "I'm the guy that's going to write Kingpin's obituary, and you can quote me." I was like, "That is the best line in the whole book." That was really cool. So, really enjoyed this. Continues to be one of the best Marvel books out there.
The best.
The best, according to some people. I think I would say that. I think I would say it is better than Moon Knight and Ultimate Wolverine. Yeah. And now, there is another book, though, from Marvel that I particularly enjoyed this week. I thought it was really great. And that is Uncanny X-Men. This is issue number 12. This is like Gambit-centered. Gambit's just having a great week. We found out Channing Tatum's going to be in the next Avengers movie. And then there's this issue. So Gambit's just having a good week.
Yeah, except for Halle Berry and Famke Jensen.
Wait, what's that?
Except for Halle Berry and Famke Jensen, the two people we want to see come back.
I wanted to see Channing Tatum and James Marsden. I was never a huge fan of Famke Janssen. Halle Berry, I would like to see come back as Storm. I don't know if she will. They haven't even announced all the people yet. All those 20-something names, and I don't think that's even.
It took 3 hours for them to just show chairs.
I know, it was the dumbest thing. I don't get it. What they should
have done is just show the theater.
They should have done like the big announcements like they used to do at Comic-Con, but that's a different conversation. So this picks up after last issue where Rogue had asked Gambit to kind of knock the wind out of the new girl, just to kind of show the new students that being an X-Man or being it's hard. It's not just easy. So they find out that this girl's been out training in their danger room like nonstop since this happened. So Rogue feels a little bit guilty. She goes and apologizes to the girl, and the girl's like, "Oh, Gambit already apologized. And in fact, he said that you would be apologizing soon." It's a lot of this revolves around Gambit. My favorite part, though, is all of the Louisiana tropes that are actually true are in this book. So you see these giant rainbows that he's wearing. These are, in fact, what do they call them here? They are called Cajun sneakers. little galoshes right there. He says you wear them for more than this, but he says you wear them for crawfishing, and you wear them like during floods and stuff. But the whole point of this is Gambit goes into town he goes to get crawfish because they're gonna have a crawfish boil. And then there's a flashback. It goes into Gambit's past some, so they show him as a young boy actually picking crawfish right there. They show him he gets into fights with this other boy who's like from the Assassin's Guild, I think. And so he gets into a fight. This is before I think he can really use his mutant powers. But then there's this guy called the Vig, and that's his stepdad, I think.
Was that back when he was Matthew Murdock with his glasses on?
No. So this is his stepdad, and he's a gangster, basically. He's got this really like ghoulish appearance, but he's a gangster. At the end, and so he has like this kind of he oversees like Gambit gives him a portion of his, because remember Gambit's a thief, so Gambit's like showing him what he's pickpocketed for the day, and he gives him a piece of it. And then since this guy's his stepdad, he kind of gives him a bit of encouragement, kind of, and he tells him, hey, this is where those boys are going to be if you want to go get some payback. So 12-year-old Gambit goes, he finds those boys that beat him up, and then he kind of, returns the favor. And, he's eating with the Vig, and then those kids, their dad shows up wanting to take some revenge on Gambit for beating up his kids. But then this guy, the Vig, he attacks them and takes care of them. So it's like he inspired some loyalty in Gambit for that. Gambit then goes on the run. He comes to the house where they're staying in the present day, Mr. St. Jr. And what's that? Yeah, not a big fan. I'll say it again. Not a big fan. She's okay. I didn't like her as Jean Grey.
Do you like her? They like her in Goldeneye?
Yes. Her Goldeneye was better than her Jean Grey. Yeah.
Crushing her with the thighs?
I would say that. So it comes forward to the present day, and this guy, he showed back up after all these years, and he's like, listen, just like when you were a kid, you were a thief, you gave me 25% of your take, so I want 25% now. So you got to give. So basically what he wants is he wants one of the 4 new students that the X-Men have. And Gambit, of course, says F you to that. He does a little bit of fighting with them, but then he sticks like a fully charged stack of cards in his coat and basically like blast them, blows them up. And then before he leaves, Gambit says, oh, by the way, those Shadow Assassin guys that you fought a long time ago, I told them where you were going to be, so they're going to come get you, so you better run. And so then it ends up with Gambit going back. You see him with the, where is it, over here? You see him with the big bags of crawfish. This is exactly what it looks like. They come in these giant bags. You see him like doing the boil. This is my culture right there.
Say hello to Emperor Goddess, who is basically streaming you right now on Twitch.
Oh, nice. Hi, Imperial Goddess. This is my culture. This is me right here. This is what Cajuns and Louisianians do. They even give you the instructions on how to eat crawfish, which I thought was hysterical. So now everybody knows how to do it. So yeah, that was it. And then it ends with the mayor's office in New Orleans. This woman shows up. I'm not sure who she is. I'm not sure if we've seen her already before. But she shows up and she's like, it's those darn mutants, Mayor. You got to do something about those mutants. So yeah, overall, this continues to impress. This is a very good X-Men book. I have been enjoying it. So is this issue number 12? They've already done the whole X-Man hunt thing. I don't even know how that ended. Actually, I do know how it ended. But it ended with Wolverine killing Cyclops again, I think. But none of that. This is, like I said, this is really just a Gambit book. So really,
you just did a little, Louisiana accent on there. Why don't you actually have a Louisiana accent if you're from Louisiana?
Because my mom is from Texas, and I was homeschooled, so I was around her a lot more than I was around my dad. So, but if I go over to Texas, oddly enough, people will say I sound like I'm from Louisiana. But when I'm in Louisiana, people say you don't sound like you're from here. At least not South Louisiana. So
I can hear it a little bit of accent. But you're not Cajun though.
Not Cajun. No, I'm not. And actually, you know what? It's funny because that's also something that's referenced in the book too. Because they say how because there are actually so few true Cajuns that they can't afford to be picky. If someone like thinks they're a Cajun or half Cajun, they can't really be picky. But somebody's like, Gambit's not Cajun. He's from the city. Which is wild because that's actually my dad's case. My dad is not Cajun, but he is from New Orleans. So I was like, so Gail Simone, I know she has me blocked on X, but if I ever get to meet with her, I'm gonna be like, she did her homework on the Louisiana part for sure. So really enjoyed that.
I bet if you offered to buy her some Cajun food, she'd unblock you.
Boy, listen, if I'm getting Cajun food for her, I'm gonna have to get it for me too. So
and you probably get a loan too. But
all right,
I don't know, man. All right, number one book though was Justice League Unlimited, issue number 5. I had to get the Legion of Doom cover, which is just I love the Legion of Doom as bad guys. This was great. You've got RDV kind of went through a lot of it. First of all, we do have Hal with the team in this story. You've also got Wally West. So right there, those two alone make this book worth it. You've got, Superman. He's kind of, trying to he's fighting this guy who's trying to blow up a nuclear reactor in Tokyo or in Japan. Mr. Terrific's trying to figure out who the Inferno team are. Batman's trying to help Martian Manhunter track down his telepathic powers. So you've got Flash, Impulse, Wonder Woman, and Supergirl. And this other guy who I've never heard of before in my life. What do you call himself? The Thunderer? Thunderlord. I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah, they did mention that, say he's an older person.
Yeah, he looks like Wong. But it's funny because as they're fighting off these weird other dimensional aliens, they're trying to keep all the diplomats safe and everything. But a funny little thing is all the diplomats, because they're all world leaders, they all know how to give orders, but none of them know how to take orders. So they all just want to control the situation and tell everyone what to do. And the League is just like, shut up, we're trying to help you. And Impulse is like, Wonder Woman's a diplomat. Why can't she? And then it just shows Wonder Woman like beating this alien to a pulp. I thought that was hilarious. And then like you mentioned, RDV, I love these. I don't know if that's it. I haven't read the original Impulse run, but these thought bubbles were incredible. I love the waving of the red flag when he sees this diplomat with the smirk.
Yeah, I want more of that, actually. That'd be great.
I mean, that's fantastic. I really dig that. So yeah, they go through, they find out that Batman and them, they're trying to track down his powers. There's some more thought bubble Impulse has going on right there. He knows he's one of the Inferno guys. And it's crazy. Impulse actually becomes the second person. I think Dr. Occult figured out who they were, but he's in a coma or something where he can't remember. And Impulse is actually the second person to figure out who these Inferno people are. You can see him right there, but then they make him forget because the telepathic powers. But yeah, it's cool. So what happens is what was it they ended up doing? Hal Jordan ends up, was it Hal or Wally? No, it was Wally. Excuse me. Wally ends up vibrating enough to get them out of that dimension and into another dimension, which is the Phantom Zone. And so then Supergirl, Star Sapphire makes like a giant bubble around them, and Supergirl tows them to the exit of the Phantom Zone. And you find out that was the plan, was they wanted to get somebody inside the Watchtower. So Grodd unveils himself. Airwave reveals that he's the double agent. I think catching even Batman off guard. I think Batman is even the one. He's like, Airwave, you're the mole, you're the inside guy. And then it goes to the swamp. Yeah, right there. Where you've got your classic Legion of Doom. I do think this is a time travel story because I don't think this is current day Lex or Sinestro, but it is still a really cool picture to see.
It isn't. All you have to do is read the one underneath where it continues.
Oh, really? Oh yeah, the time toss terror. Yeah,
I guess they're going back, and I guess Justice League's going to go back to that era.
there you go. Which I'm okay with. I am very much okay with. So yeah, this was just fantastic. I've been liking Justice League so far. Methinks Mr. Wade protested too much when he said, "I don't know how to write superheroes anymore." I think he was just full of it. But yeah, Justice League was fantastic. Great read. Everyone should be reading that. Those top 5 books, Green Lantern, Superman, Justice League, Spider-Man, and X-Men were all fantastic reads. I would recommend all of those. If I had just gotten those 5, it would have been a great week. Wolverine was okay. That one was pretty good. The other 4 were kind of so G.I. Joe was pretty good, I guess. It's just kind of quiet. But Martian Manhunter was trippy. If that's your speed, if you like stuff like that. It's very Ice Cream Man-ish, actually. So if that's something your speed, you might like it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it, though.
So who's got to go next?
I'm going to predict Geekeasy.
Yep.
All right, see you, Geeky.
See ya. I'm out.
By the way, Summoner, great job on JSA. Good to read. Great stuff. He's talking about how he started reading 1941 JSA. With World War II JSA. Good stuff.
Okay. Yeah, good job. Jobo, man.
Good job. I'll be right back.
All
I'm
right.
listening. I just gotta get water.
So I've got 11 and a trade. So number 11, I have this. It's the number 4. I had to get them. They were out of order and stuff like that. So I haven't read this one yet because I wanted to go back and get them all and just read them all together. So I can't really
Heat
say much.
Seeker.
But I do
I
really
keep
like
forgetting that they have Heat Seekers.
it.
Is that?
They're forgettable.
I thought that was Kitty Seeker.
They are forgettable.
It's something. I don't know. I've seen some of the interior art. I don't know
Yeah.
that art is forgettable.
Number 10. It's getting a little better.
Oh, nice.
The art was. They still need to do something with that art. It's just horrible. And this is surprising. Rolk, number 2.
Interesting.
This is a really good, but this is a good book. I don't know much about Rolk. I mean, I know it's back to being Thunderbolt, and I did not know that he only had a certain amount of energy, and he, if he runs out, he reverts back. I didn't know that.
That might be new. I don't know if that's the case that it was originally. I knew that it was Ross. I don't know if he was on a timer.
Well, that's what it sounds like. He says, like he was fighting and he used it all up and he just, became Ross again. And then they had to get up to the surface to get some radiation like from the sun or something like that. And it was nighttime. So
Originally, yeah, he didn't have a time limit, but when his blood was acid, though.
Yes, or his blood. Yeah, his blood was kind of like acid, or it was super hot.
So it would burn people if they touched it.
Yeah. He had that alien xenomorph blood.
And then number 8. This was really good.
Nice.
It focuses on Faith Aaron Hicks. I don't know if you guys know who that is. Not.
Yeah,
but,
she read some woke books.
Some what?
Woke books.
This focuses on the daughter of some people who were a British archaeologist and his Egyptian wife who are doing an expedition in Egypt and all this stuff. It's 1912. She's 7 years old. And that introduces it. Then it skips up to 19, whatever. So she's like 5 years later. And she's hanging out with her friends who are all Egyptian, but she's, half and half. So she's, even though she's high class, she's not accepted by the British people, and she's not, accepted by the,
by the Egyptians. Okay.
Yes. But then, so they're all hanging out, and the art is Okay, so it's 1921. Thieves 1921.
Okay.
So you see her. That's what 9 years later. So she's 21 now or something like that, or just barely there. But she goes with her friends, and they sneak into a club because they want to go dancing because she knows the doorman. The doorman works for her dad, and then it turns out that her dad finds this thing open, reads this spell, and
Never read a spell on a sarcophagus, guys.
yeah, or reads a thing on there, and she's hearing some stuff, and then she's told she can't hang out with her friends anymore. Gets pissed off, breaks the window. I mean, a mirror, and she's seeing some people in the mirror that's supposed to be her. And it sort of looks like maybe she's being inhabited by a spirit of, some mummy or something, someone from way back. I don't know. They're going to answer that one.
Interesting.
But I don't know. But it's just number one. It's not bad.
Okay.
But they had to have the little social commentary in there. But that's,
Yeah.
that happened back then. Long Halloween, number, what is this, 6? Not bad. Went over that already, and I'm enjoying it. And then I have Nightclub 2, number 5. I missed that one because it didn't come in.
Yeah.
And
I had
so
the same issue. I was behind getting the finale too.
I had to wait. It just came in Wednesday. I read this one, so I still have number 6, which I have to read. But
Nice.
I really enjoyed this one.
The ending for that is nuts.
Yes. And I can't. What, that for that issue or?
No, just that series. Once you get to issue number 6, that ending is nuts.
I am. That's probably what I'm going to be doing either tonight or tomorrow morning.
Wow. Fun.
Then Green Lantern number 21. That's I guess number 3 or 4, whatever. I agree with you guys all on that. It was really nice. 3.
Oh, you got that? I saw that cover.
I liked that cover. I was just like, okay.
Nice cover.
And it was really good. I did not figure out who it was, and I was very surprised at the end. And I did like the little animation thing in his head and stuff like that. Okay, then boom. Very enjoyable. And has this Earth's Ben Reilly been introduced?
I don't think so.
Because I was reading this as they killed all the Ben Reillys, and I was like, okay, what is this? I'm like, I couldn't remember if they were just bringing Ben Reilly up now for the first time.
I don't think so. I think they might have mentioned, I might be thinking of Ben Urich. I think they mentioned Ben Urich. I don't think they'd mentioned Ben Reilly yet, though. So I wonder if that's going to lead to a Clone Saga.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of, their version of the Clone Saga.
And in the original Ultimate Universe, there actually was a Ben Reilly. He was a doctor.
There was, and the other, but that's not this Ultimate Universe.
That's why I said the original.
Yeah, in the original there was,
Yeah, and in this one, they have not revealed anything. It's more the fact it's an insult because of the fact that there's a bunch of other Ben Reillys.
Yeah.
Because Uncle Ben, his last name is Reilly. So it's just it's like one of the phone books. Like I killed all the Sarah Connors.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Yeah. And none of them was good looking as the original Sarah Connor, or the main Sarah Connor. Okay, then I still have a couple left.
Okay.
Got this big ice thing up against my calf. It was okay. Then boom. Boom. Okay. All right. Got the different covers here. What am I doing?
Right.
And one more, which I need you to remember back to something that I said a little bit earlier.
I saw that one. That was huge. When I saw that at the shop, I was like, good Lord.
Yeah, and I seem to remember saying something about the people who bought the one this size being suckers.
Now you're one of them.
But yeah, I said that knowing that it was sitting like right here. So I just see. Here's what I'm. I was just thinking about this. I was thinking about doing a video on it. But they're doing these for like these older, Batman books. They're having doing the reprints, but they're also doing like the Wonder Woman and the Superman versus Muhammad Ali book. They're doing some of the past ones and oversized. Okay, so maybe with that, they're doing oversized for nostalgia purposes. That's almost forgivable.
Mhm.
Now they're doing them for new releases. Counting on suckers, to pick up the ones for the month that is just coming out. And of course, there's dumbasses who buy them, so they're gonna keep doing it. But maybe it's just me. Then that's all for this week. But then I did when I was on one of my few trips out of the house to go shopping with my left replacing me and driving my stick shift down to the store to go shopping, which really hurts.
Oh,
Number one.
nice.
Yes.
That's Millar, right?
Yes. And I think I'm on issue 2 where they're sending Wolverine to try and infiltrate.
That was actually the first X-Men book. I read through a few issues. When a friend got me into reading comics, that was one of the very first comics I read.
You got
Didn't get me into X-Men, but
Jean Grey there.
I didn't like Jean Grey with the short pixie hair. That was a weird choice.
But yeah, I like it. I think I've
Actually,
read
it made sense.
Rogue and Storm were better. Well, how does it? That doesn't make sense.
No. Her having short hair.
How?
Rachel had short hair. Her daughter.
Yeah.
So it's kind of called back to that thing, for people like Rachel.
I guess. I didn't like it though.
And I got this too.
At the ash can.
It was free.
Oh yeah, I got that too. Yeah.
So I've got
somewhere.
one and two.
Yeah. So my shop didn't have the ash cans.
Oh.
So
Right.
and
I literally want actual ash can.
You want ash in a can?
no, an ash can. That's like
Not that.
like you get a can, you put your ashes in when you're out on your balcony smoking.
Yeah. Cigarettes. Your little dish.
Yes. You being straight edge over there, Mr. Zach, you probably wouldn't know what he meant by an ash can.
I know what an ash can is. Almost all my dad's family smoked at some point or another. So every Christmas you come across them. No matter whose house you were at.
Next. All right. Mr. Breen.
All right.
Where is the cat?
Where's the cat?
She's taking a siesta on the sofa. That's all.
Aren't you on the sofa?
No, I'm on the couch.
Is that the same thing? You get two?
No. Sofas are generally one cushion less than a couch.
Oh, wait, I call them the same up here.
Well, everybody else knows there's a difference.
Hey, what is the different? What is the furniture version of a Luddite? That's what what he is, and I guess me too.
All right. Number 8. This was awful. Sorry, Jeff.
I was waiting for
okay.
that.
I knew
We're allowed to have
didn't
our
like it either.
The story was, and I am not paying $5 for Tumblr art. Period. This is terrible.
According to Google, sofas and couches are the same damn thing. Score Google.
No, they're not.
You believe everything
You
you
believe
read
Google
on
over Breen? How dare you?
Hey,
Well,
you
do a Bing search.
damn it! I forgot about that.
Ooh, you
Just
picked
more
that
of the same mindless violence. They're still alive, and they've only got to get through 2 more cars. I could take or leave that series. Number 6, Batman Long Halloween. Last Halloween, excellent, but that'll tell you how good of a week this was. Number 5, Green Lantern. I'm gonna say something. I'm not thrilled with Carol being Star Sapphire and Lois being Superwoman. I don't think every hero needs to have their wife or girlfriend fighting crime alongside of them.
Yeah, Rogue, go away.
I mean that happened organically. They were superheroes to begin with. A huge difference. Lois has been a reporter for 80 years. Carol's been Star Sapphire before, but I said I've no problem with there being a Star Sapphire, a Superwoman. I still think they need to be Lois Lane and Carol Ferris. But that said, I like this. I agree with Zach. It feels more like a Green Lantern core book, but we've already got one of those. But
actually, it's a lot better than the core book. Actually,
well, that's because Jeremy Adams is writing all of this, and he's just plotting the other one.
But I wouldn't like to have the adventures of Kyle and Connor, Space Adventures.
I like the when I saw Hector, I said, "Really, another character is turning good?" Nope. Number 4, Batman 158. I said I liked Hush, didn't love Hush because it's probably a generational thing because I've been around forever. But when they did the callback to the Joker fish from my favorite detective run of all time, I was in, and this is a lot of talent on this book. It is very good, and I expect these next 5 issues to be excellent as well.
Yeah, like I said, when I read the original Hush series today, they didn't miss a beat. It's the same as it was before.
Yeah, I think the original Hush was the first Batman series or story that I really read all the way through. I really enjoyed the first one.
Number 3, Ultimate Spider-Man. We've pretty much talked over everything on that. Although, so this was a nice issue, but it was sort of like it was kind of like a breather.
A side mission.
Yeah.
After a huge storyline, which is fine because you need those resets. But I like this. But and usually it's almost always number 1. But this week there were.
I was hoping more of the daughter in this when she was only in a brief minutes.
Justice League.
Nathan's dirty cover.
Y'all both got the fun cover.
This. I said this one seemed to. A lot of it was the same as the other 4, but there was a mention when Wade mentioned because Vegman and I talked the night before. I said, "Yeah, oh crap! Here's the Legion of Doom." Like it's like because you've got Lex over in Superman trying to be good, and you've got Sinestro rejoining the Green Lantern Corps. And when both of those were referenced, I said, "Okay, continuity. I'll take what I can get."
Yeah.
And then when it was revealed that they plucked the Legion of Doom out of time and come to the present, I said, "That's it. This is great. I'm finally now not just going through the motions on picking up this book."
Yep.
And I think, if I'm not mistaken, they now know that Airwave is the mole.
Trader, yep.
Yes.
But number 1, Superman. Loved it. What I don't like, nothing's perfect. Yes, Superwoman goes off to lead a Justice League team. Come on. She's been a superhero for 5 minutes. And she's, she's basically belittling Creeper, who I know isn't he's not exactly Batman, but again, like I said, I'm going to be glad when Lois is Lois again. But the twist with Mercy, I thought was, you kind of felt something was coming, but I think we all thought it would be Lex going back to being the mustache twirling bad guy, and I think they are really resisting that, which I think they should, because I said, I don't agree with, I don't agree with my friends, Wes and Doc, that think that if you were a bad guy to begin with, you always got to stay a bad guy. There is room for redemption in the way they do things. I mean, I said, you can't, redemption, yes. Absolution, no. Because he's done a lot of shit. But, I respect the fact that they are presenting a Lex that is genuinely trying to do good. And even with him getting his memories back, he's in no hurry to go back to being evil. He goes, I have a lot to make up for. And then when he said, I have to pay for my crimes.
Yeah.
So, again, I said, I go back to us having lunch with a comic book nerd friend of mine. We're talking about, what do you do with characters that have been around for 80 years? How do you make them fresh? Well, that's how. I mean, and it was pointed out by Black Cat that he did do a quasi face turn in Rebirth, but it didn't stick, and now it seems like it is lasting a while. And even in the good, even in the era that Venkman and I love, he did good things. I mean, he was always shady as hell, but I mean, like I said, he did a lot of like face, to use wrestling analogy, stuff in Final Night, and so on and so forth. But like I said, I like this, so that's why Superman was my number one of the week, and I did get one trade.
He also helped rebuild Gotham in after
No Man's Land.
Yeah, No Man's Land.
Huh.
But he probably did that because he figured the long-term profit potential.
Right,
Yeah.
still doing some good stuff.
Oh.
This 9 issues, $20.
Nice.
And this is probably, I was reading Chris Gage's. He wrote the foreword, and I agree. The non-horror EC comics are better. This is some of the best. These are some of the best issues in a company that did so many great issues. It has the famous severed head cover, but it's in. I said I recommend this to anybody that's ever read an EC comic, because I said 2 weeks ago I got one that had 4 issues and it was $20 because they didn't have enough to fill the one. This one they didn't have enough to fill 2, so they just put the last 9 in one and still charged $20.
So was this the famous cover that they used in the hearings?
Yes.
Where he said it could be blood coming off of it?
Yes.
Okay.
But I said I've already read, I think, 6 of the 9 issues, and this is probably the best volume of the, I think about like 27 or 28 of them now. But yeah, this is great. I'm enjoying this tremendously. So great week for new releases, and great week for the trade that I got. So yeah, this is a good week all around.
You're talking about villains getting a redemption arc, but not absolution with Lex Luthor. Do you remember? And they did that for Joker in the Elseworld book with Sean Murphy. He was cured.
Yeah.
No longer evil.
I never liked that whole thing.
I liked some of the more recent stuff where they started to bring in like
for me,
Justice League.
The Joker for that work because it's Elseworlds. Joker in the main continuity, no. Gag me the spoon. I don't want him going the way of making.
Oh yeah, there's because for one thing, Magneto, his crimes were on a different level, and there was. I said that's why they have different degrees for murder. Joker just willfully and gleefully takes human life. Magneto never did that.
That one issue of Hush, the very first series, where where Thomas Elliott's shot in the alleyway, and he sees Joker there. He starts beating the crap, and he's saying he's killed Detective Ensign. It's just like he shot and tried to kill Barbara, and like Jason Todd. He's like, when's enough? Maybe I should give in to it.
And
kill him.
Again, what's going to take me out of the story initially is that Batman works harder to save someone who, by saving, Batman is basically consigning thousands of people to death. And like I said, it's the one circular argument, with DC Comics as pertains to Batman, is should Batman kill? The answer is no, but should Batman kill Joker? Absolutely. Because I'm sorry, it doesn't make him as bad as him, because that's one versus tens of thousands.
Right.
And, trying to make a moral equivalence out of that.
Well, that was low with Jim. You had Jim Gordon basically in the alleyway said, "It's like you kill him, you cross the line, and then I'll be hunting you down."
Oh, and that's bullshit written by a bullshit writer, whoever that was. And I don't care if
that's Jeff Loeb.
That's bullshit writing. Because I'm sorry, if a man takes someone off the board who's killed your wife, raped your daughter, killed thousands of people, and you're going to drop everything to hunt that guy instead of people like the Joker, bullshit. Again, it's that comic book argument that everybody's got a strong opinion on, but
I like what they did with as far as in the movie though of Rachel Gold. He's like, I don't kill, but it doesn't mean I have to save you though.
But Joker, I said I've been saying for years they could just, if someone else could take up the mantle, so you still have a Joker, but the Joker that's done all this should be put down for good, and it lessens the character. It lessens the character of Batman by saving someone that's just going to turn around and kill a bunch of people.
I liked what they did with Norman Osborn back in the day. Basically he forget that he's the Green Goblin, and then you walk in eggshells when he starts to remember and all that stuff. It's like I love that for straight out killing him though.
Well,
it's like you have to bring like you get rid of the Joker, they'd have to bring like 3 Jokers saying there's another Joker. He killed the wrong one.
Yeah, Norman Osborn, killed some other criminals, but he didn't. Until he killed Gwen, he hadn't killed an innocent person, and that was where Norman crossed the line. He shouldn't have been able to come back from. Again, this is comics though, and so it's. But yeah, it just. I say that the whole. Yeah, moving heaven and earth to save a soulless, homicidal maniac, genocidal maniac.
That Brian
makes no sense. Anyway, that's put Zach in the big screen.
It's funny because they're talking about the whole sofa thing, and like no one calls it sofa; they're all couches.
Well, the other word for them are love seats.
It was always couch with me. Love seat is only like 2. Love seat is only 2 of them.
It says 2 cushions. Couches generally have 3.
All right. So I don't think that should be it then. I don't think we don't have anything else. Show off tonight. But I want to thank everybody for being here, for popping in here and saying hello and talking in the chat. I'm hearing myself in the background. I think that might be Zach again.
Thought I would that out. Let me see.
Might be.
There we go.
Alrighty. Anyway, though, what's going on here? Having been a fan of Warlock series since I was a kid, I was shocked to see that they actually had the Universal Church of Truth show up as villains. Love that saga. Yeah, You Must Believe. It wasn't. They were also in part of the Disney XD cartoon, the Guardians of the Galaxy, the Church of Truth were the villains in some of the episodes. So it's kind of funny. That's back when Adam and Gamora used to hang out with Pip and the Troll. Also, Drax was a human who was transformed into an alien to destroy Thanos. Alrighty then. Oh yeah, he's talking about he's been playing the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
Yeah.
Yep. Space Dragon. Sofa is a piece of class. A couch is cozy.
Well, apparently it's whatever Coco says it is, and she's already taken over everything.
That's what cats
do, man. That's how they get you.
Like I said, The worst is when you have a white pet, what, or as far as an animal, or like a cat or a dog. All the hair's all over the couch.
Yep. No, not just the couch. Your clothes. That's the worst.
That cat has been on this couch 20 times already.
Yeah.
Not a single hair.
Really?
I don't know if calicos just don't shed like other breeds, but well, it's also, I said, I mean, this cat, wants to be around me all the time, which most cats can't get far enough away from people. So I don't know if it's because it was literally by itself for a year, but
could be
a cat that thinks it's a dog without the barking. I'll take that.
I know some cats that are like that. Not a lot, but cats are they're very different. Some of them are like you say, they can't wait to get away from you. Some are very like my sister's got a cat that she rescued, and that thing won't leave her side pretty much. So just kind of depends.
Well,
on the cat.
it's I said I did it as a favor because it was me or the pound, but it would have, if all I did was feed it and change its litter box, then it'd be like there's no point. But this one's like actually having a pet, which is kind of cool.
Yeah,
It might change. She might once she gets used to everything, she might just stay away from me forever. But I may not care that. So
well, the good thing about cats too is that you don't have to babysit them like you
They're
do a
independent.
dog.
Yeah, if you can
they're
leave for a while, they can go. Yeah,
Or
a
independent,
dog's
yeah.
like, yeah, I tore open your pillow or your
well, it's the water thing that they brought over for it has like a tank behind it. So when it drinks, it refills itself until when it's empty, which is kind of nice. And
I used to have one of those for when I had a cat. Yeah, my sister's got a fountain, so it's constantly moving the water to encourage the cat, to drink the water because I don't know, it's like a active something for them, the cat, to notice, and also it's supposed to restrict keep the water from going stale. My cat used to freaking like. Because they had that thing, the water thing. It was a food dish / water thing. So he'd like start with his paw, start splashing the water, get the water in the food, and he's like, "I don't eat the food; it's all soggy." I'm like, "You little son of a bitch."
well, apparently, cats don't drink much.
No,
'Cause I was worried because it didn't use the litter box for like. It still can't really tell that it has,
No.
and she hasn't done anything anywhere else. I mean, you'd smell it.
It's just
Cats
funny when
don't do much unlike you and me.
I bet you when it gets really quiet though, and she goes over to the water thing, you can hear her lapping the water go. Like my cat would do that. He'd literally take the water, and then afterwards he'd just make the mouth smacking noises. Like, and I look over and it's like, are you done yet? So,
I mean, it must nice life though. They sleep 20 hours a day.
I know, right?
Garfield, bro.
Lucky.
Well, they're up at nighttime. They're like meow. And
Well, that's true. They are. They're very nocturnal. Yeah, that's true.
I'll bet this lump doesn't move at night either.
As soon as you go upstairs and you're sleeping, the cat turns on the TV. Just watching TV, sitting eating popcorn, like Garfield. Where's my Trader Joe's popcorn? I can't eat it. No. But all right though, that'll be it for the night though. Unless you guys got else to talk about. I know Jack, you mentioned a little bit about the chairs that they had for 3 hours on the Marvel premiere.
That's such a dumb thing.
For Avengers Doomsday.
They got me though. They got Channing Tatum. I'm gonna go see it. Once they got me.
What was the other? We're making fun of it. Avengers Doomsday. I'm like, they had a picture of Doomsday.
Yes. Doomsday from Zack Snyder's Superman. Yeah.
So Vegman, did you like the 2 Daredevils?
Yeah, I did. I told you. I'm like, wow, they're actually referencing the other TV shows. They reference Hawkeye and Miss Marvel.
Yeah, I think this is turning out to be.
Oh, especially the one that when Daredevil is punching the Muse is the villain, but you also see Kingpin beating up Adam.
That was fun.
That was
I like both. I like the the whole bank robbery scene. I thought was really well done.
That was. I thought that was because when I saw that, and you see the opening credits, and you see the two names.
Yeah.
You know, because I had no idea who the other name was, and I go, "Oh, this is going to be one of those unnecessary episodes that Netflix used to always throw in."
With
Turned out to be
Swordsman being in
great.
there.
Swordsman was a really cool, low key addition. Like I enjoyed that. I didn't think
who's Swordsman?
Swordsman. So in the Hawkeye show, he's Kate Bishop's. What is it? Her stepdad or her dad?
Yeah, soon to be stepdad.
Soon to be stepdad. Yeah.
No, which one was he in? I don't remember.
The guy with the mustache.
Oh,
he's
okay.
talking to Kingpin at that fundraiser.
If you wonder,
okay.
You watch Better Call Saul.
Where have I seen this guy? He was in Better Call Saul.
Yes.
He's Lalo in Better Call Saul. The cartel guy.
Really good character.
Really insanely, I just love it. He's freaky in Better Call Saul. But Swordsman, and I think it's is it the first episode where they're talking about the different superheroes, or is it the second one where they show the Swordsman actually fighting?
It's the first one, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's the first one.
No, the second one.
The BB.
The second? Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, all these new vigilantes and just like, and then what's his name? Kingpin being talked down to by the rich lady. I'm thinking like, because this show is incorporating a lot of the Chip Zdarsky run. As far as
the
Colin. They got that detective, that cop, Colin North. He was from the Zdarsky run. Yeah.
I think he goes back to Charles.
Does he go back further? Maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a disgraced cop in Chicago who basically and he moved to New York and he becomes a part of he hates vigilantes. But there's the whole anti-vigilante squad though. That was originally it was like a bunch of villains that he just gave badges to. Yeah. So they're changing that with this. But
I thought you could see it coming a mile away, but after beating Muse to death, of course he gets up and silently gets away. The Daredevil's radar senses don't detect. Well, that was kind of. I know he was preoccupied with saving the girl, but still, I mean, I said, that's kind of a tired trope, but.
I mean, to be fair, there are several times where I thought Daredevil literally killed somebody, and then it turned out they weren't dead. So when he fights those two cops in that apartment, I thought for sure he broke one of their necks.
Well, I thought,
and then they show up in the next episode. It's like, oh, I guess I'm wrong.
I thought he at least knocked him out.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, so what's funny in the current comic books, Muse is a chick. So I don't know what the hell was going on with the show having a guy being Muse.
Well, they probably don't want to have a guy beat the shit out of a girl in live action.
Probably. Also, if they do it one way, they can do it the other.
Wait.
Ghost and Taskmaster girls.
The only way that's acceptable if it's Kang, right?
Kang.
Beating up a girl.
Apparently not, because she dropped the charges.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say he was a
Muse was a guy in the comics.
Yeah, in the current comic books right now at Marvel on sales, I saw they had Muse on there. It was a female.
Oh, I wonder if it's a new one then.
So
the original one that I'm seeing is not female.
I don't know, man. But as far as the series go, it's actually been pretty cool. I'm enjoying it. I don't know what they're going to do as far as Punisher, if he's going to come out and just take out that whole entire anti-vigilante squad. Or he's just going to sit there and be broken and not show up.
Speaking of, did you see the trailer for The Accountant 2?
I saw that's coming out. I did not watch the trailer, though.
See who his cohort is?
No.
John Bernthal.
Nice.
No.
That might actually be worth watching.
But I know that John Bernthal is always over at he's always at the gun range. Like it's called Terran Tentacle. They're on Instagram and Twitter. Yeah, he's always at the gun range and shooting and stuff. He's a very pro gun.
He's from New Orleans too.
Yeah.
I have a bit of a question. The girl that Daredevil is dating, the therapist.
Yes.
I am getting the sneaking suspicion that she knows who he is. Do you get the impression about that?
No.
I haven't gotten that impression. I'm not super familiar with her.
Neither am I. But
Radar says she's gonna die. She might. I mean,
You know,
girlfriends.
I have the feeling like she's probing him. Hey, what about all these vigilantes? Hey, maybe you can set me up with Daredevil. Yeah. And just some of the ways she's acting.
So I don't think she knows, but she knows that he obviously knows Punisher because he represented him.
Right, and he knew White Tiger because the court
represented him. So maybe he knows Daredevil.
Maybe
too.
she figures, hey, Matt's from Hell's Kitchen, Daredevil's in Hell's Kitchen. Maybe she's just.
She might later on put 2 and 2 together. She might catch on, especially after he comes back with bruises. What happened to your face?
Well, I think, I don't think Heather will be back for season 2, but I'm not sure she'll die.
Doesn't she die in the comics?
She does. Yeah, she does.
Yeah, I thought so.
Well, but this is a totally different character.
Yeah, this is a hot.
In the 30s, they would call what Heather was a madcap heiress, and then she, became a pawn in the Miller series. First with her dad's company after he was killed, and then they said we're Matt systematically ruined her life, so she had no choice but to marry him. So for the greatest run of all time for comics, Matt does some really shitty things to Heather in that.
Hey, Henry, I was asking the Captain America issue number where Cap fights Baytruck, Living Laser, and the Swordsman.
Well, let me see. Yeah.
That's a Tales of Suspense. Probably somewhere in the 80s, I think. Oh no! There's like one of the first couple of issues of Cap after Tales of Suspense.
Captain America number 105.
Yeah.
From 1968.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, so far it's been a good series. I got worried when they showed the Punisher tattoos all over the corrupt cops' necks and stuff, arms up, and I was just like, oh, please don't go into preaching, and all that crap that
they haven't. I
was waiting for that.
I was also gonna say the Punisher's first appearance was Avengers 19, where he's a bad guy, but he pretends to be a good guy. He tries to join the Avengers.
Frank Castle?
No. Swordsman.
Oh, Swordsman. Okay.
Oh, I heard you say Punisher. That's
I heard Punisher too.
First appearance of Swordsman.
Well, Zach knows.
19.
Zach knows what issue Punisher first appeared in.
And then that ends with him using a sword to prod Captain America off a tall building. And of course, he gets saved, but and then he made several appearances. He was in Avengers Annual #1, that Captain America, Avengers 63, because he was connected to Hawkeye's origin because they worked at the same carnival where Clint was a roustabout, and Clint caught him stealing the take one night and had to flee, and that's why those two were enemies. And they ended up, the Swordsman shows up in Avengers 100 because everybody that was ever technically an Avenger, and he was starting to. He always had a code. He wouldn't kill. So even if he had caught Clint, he wouldn't have killed him. And then he shows up in Avengers 114 with Mantis wanting to join the team, and he had legitimately reformed by that time.
Wasn't he also friends with the Black Knight at one point?
No,
I think he was.
No, maybe the original one.
He trained Hawkeye. I know that, but I didn't know about the Black Knight.
And then he was killed in Giant Size Avengers 2.
But they brought him back during the whole Empire Plant Alien War thing.
Well, there was a swordsman in the Avengers in the 300s, but I don't remember who it was. It wasn't the original. But that was a cool character. I said those Avengers are fun to read.
Yeah.
But you forgot the best part though. And when after him and Clint, made up, he says, "Clint, I I love
I need to get it inside.
you. Phrasing.
And honestly, that said, Hawkeye. Remember how I said Kingpin didn't have a name until Frank Miller.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye had been around for 5 years before. He didn't get an actual name until Avengers 63.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because they brought his brother Barney.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And who was a career criminal, kind of by happenstance, and then he does the right thing at the end and helps the Avengers. And
they dies.
They said, yeah. And he goes, he called you Clint, and he goes, why wouldn't he? He goes, yeah. How do you know your name? He goes, why wouldn't he? He's my brother. And that's how they revealed his name, and they added Barney.
He done such a good job at maintaining his secret identity up until that point.
Right.
Well, I don't know if they. Honestly, I don't know if by that time, because what the point wasn't that his name was Clint, it was that Barney knew it, and that's why the last reveal is that he was his brother. But yeah, so I don't know if it's just they hadn't bothered to let people know that, that what his name was at the time, but.
Alrighty though. Trying to think what else. You guys have any other questions about comic books? They asked Brian, historian.
Avengers, Defenders. That was actually the first, intercompany crossover involving multiple characters. Lasting more than 2 issues, because there was there was, Daredevil shows up in a Thor, and or then into Fantastic Four, or something like that. But and the only reason why that happened was because Steve Englehart was writing both books, and he had to beg Roy Thomas to let him do it. And he goes, "You just pray to whoever you believe in that you're not late with any of them." And because Roy had an experience 3 years prior, or two years prior, where he did the Kree Skrull War, and Neil Adams got so far behind on the art on the last issue that he had to go behind his back and bring in John Buscema. Then Neil started giving him, pages. And he goes, "Neil, I had to replace you. You didn't. You missed the deadlines." And they did not talk to each other for years after that. They've kind of made up there towards the end, but so he had experience with having one of those and having them not, the train not running on time, so to speak. So, but it obviously it worked for good or ill, because God knows we've had way too many crossovers since then. But I like the the crossovers like that that don't have a million tie-ins, because we're about to get a good old-fashioned crossover in 2025, Justice League and World's Finest. Obviously, both written by Wade, so it'll be his vision, just like the Avengers Defenders War was Englehart's. So those I like, because the industry hasn't done those in other than Batman and the Detective. But as far as like there 1976, Daredevil 138 is continued in Ghost Rider 20.
Yeah,
that kind of stuff. I missed those.
The last time World's Finest crossover anything, that was with the whole Nasad or whatever, or demon thing.
Yeah, the very first story arc. Yeah.
That led to the Lazarus Planet events, which nobody seemed to like.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, Henry, but fortunately, Tom Palmer was probably the best inker for both Adams and John Buscema.
Speaking of Neil Adams, it was always late. In the Hush series, the very first, in the middle of the series, Oracle says he's trying to track someone down. And she's like, "Where did you last see him?" He's like, "On the Denny's, near on Adams, Adams Street." So I thought that was kind of Easter egg.
Looks like Henry Jeremick is typing in Shatner. Right first, Avengers vs. Defenders was a cool early crossover.
I can see it now. Yeah, that's not funny.
Who are the Defenders?
They're like the Defenders, but they only come out in
It's
September.
the C team. It's the C team.
I like the fact that it kind of, to me, I'm not getting Shatner vibes. I'm more, it's like he's on a typewriter. You know, every time he goes to
Oh, you send me a telegram?
yeah. Yeah.
Like you see those old movies. Apparently, stop. Tom Palmer, stop. Had to stop.
Burning the Midnight Oil, is that a song?
It's a saying.
No, it's just a saying, meaning that they had to
No,
work
I remember
along.
I'm pretty sure there was a.
You're thinking of probably thinking of Beds Are Burning by.
Yeah, Beds Are Burning. Yeah, that was it.
Yes. Why should we sleep while our beds are burning?
Defembers.
Yes.
Defumbers.
There are people who try and say bad things about you and defame you.
No, that's the Defamers.
Defamers.
I like it's like you have the Defembers and the Avengers.
Avengers.
Yes. Fembers. There you go. Avengers.
I'm offended by this.
Avengers. They're all women. Feminists. All right. Like Tom Palmer inking Gil Kane as well. It is very difficult to see the difference between Klaus Janson and Tom Palmer's inks on Gil Kane.
Speaking of Kane, Brian, who's the guy that wrote the history of the comic books?
Jim Steranko.
John Ridley.
Steranko. I've been watching some videos about him recently. He is not, and this is to put it very politely, not a fan of Kane, of Batman, the guy from who claimed
Bob Kane.
Bob Kane.
No one is.
Oh yeah.
Well, he's got some horrible things to say about him,
and they're probably all true.
Yeah, probably. He will sing the praises of Bill Finger until the end of the world, but he hasn't really come out and just said some pretty horrible things, but you can tell there are underlying things about his thoughts on Kane.
Well, and if you catch him on Twitter, he is, well, let's put it this way. This modern audience that comic books have been cultivating despise Jim Steranko.
Yep.
He pulls no punches, and he is
conservative.
He's conservative as the day is long.
Is he still alive?
Yeah. 85.
He still posts on Twitter.
Yeah, he now looks and dresses like if Tony Soprano's lieutenants were still around, he'd be one of them.
Yeah, he does. On Sunday nights, he has like
the Henchman Lounge or something.
Yeah, something like that. It's only on Twitter though. He basically answers questions. He posts something and then he talks back and forth on Twitter.
I gotta start paying attention to that.
He was, I said I wish he was literally too cool for comics.
Literally, he's one person I would love to have on the channel for an interview.
And he's that I would have loved to have had more of his work to have, but now I think he's just famous for being Jim Steranko. I don't think he's still doing anything.
Hey, if you can do that, do it. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, he still has his own art shows every once in a while. You know, he has like in Pennsylvania, I think it was, or Philadelphia.
Yeah, honestly, I think Jim Steranko, I don't think was particularly a great artist, but he was
stylized,
so innovative.
Yeah.
I mean, like same problem I have with Jack Kirby. Doesn't draw people exceptionally well. But if you could take like Kirby's or Steranko's or even Ditko's layouts and put a artist that's good with people, holy crap, what you would have.
Yeah, those old things like Kirby and those guys. I did not like they have these like really square jaws with the little clefts in them and all that stuff. I never liked that. Same guy that did the Flash for a long time. That starts with a G. What was his name again? In the 80s? Giardia.
He drew the Flash in the 80s.
Oh yeah, Gerardo or Jern?
No, I know you're trying to say he didn't draw the Flash.
No, Gardner Fox was an original.
He was a
No.
writer.
You're a writer, but
Carmine Infantino went back.
Yeah, that's who. Carmen Infantino.
By the time the 80s rolled around, Carmine Infantino was well past his sell-by date, and he was legitimately old. Now his early ones, because he was also drawing the Flash back in the beginning, much better when he was younger.
yeah, Steranko though, the way he drew those 3 Captain America issues, those opening, the credits on, everything was on an angle.
Yeah.
It reminded me of like watching a James Bond movie.
Yeah, he only did like 4 or 5 Agents of Shields, but those were all incredible.
Yeah, he had a distinct style to him. Like I said, yeah, it's funny that you bring up the whole Jack Kirby thing, because Brina can attest to this. When I first started hanging out with him and Angleton or comics over there, I was like, Jack Kirby's. I said his art sucks. I said it's a good thing that Vince Colletta erased most of it because of blockheads. That's all I saw was blockheads. They're like Minecraft.
Well,
Which I cannot wait to see that movie.
I think, the more you've gotten into different genres.
I also think that Kirby also advanced his art as he went along too. He got better.
No, I think it's the opposite. I think
You think so?
Yeah, yeah. Look at the way he drew the people in those romance comics we read versus how he was doing them in the 60s and 70s. But also a lot of it had to do with the fact that he was probably drawing
X-Men
100 plus pages a month.
Yeah. Yep. So
Paul Galassi, to me, as far as he obviously was a Steranko disciple, but I think his people were a little better. But obviously he couldn't replicate Steranko's imaginative layouts, because nobody could.
Wow. If I had him on the channel for an interview, what would you ask him, Brian?
I would love to know what led to the falling out between he and Stan, to where he would no longer do comics, but he basically put together the first 5 issues of Foom, and he provided the cover for issue 2 with the Hulk.
Yeah,
which is, in my opinion, it's every bit as cool as the Hulk annual cover, but I give the edge to the annual because he's basically holding up the Hulk logo on his back, and that's so iconic. The cover for Foom,
was that Steranko?
Yeah. The Foom number 2 Hulk piece is pretty awesome also.
Yeah, like I said, for Steranko, those 3 Captain America books we read. I haven't. I'll go check out his early. Did he do the first few issues of Agent Shield?
I think he did 1, 2, 4, 5, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6.
So that psychedelic one.
Those are all him. Yeah, and then
wow.
And then Dan Atkins tried to replicate as best he could, and Atkins drew over his head. Kind of like the way my analogy was my brother occasionally couldn't get anybody to play to be the last guy on a softball team. I was like a last resort because I wasn't as good as those guys. I would always play over my head to not embarrass myself.
Mm-hmm.
And if I played with people of similar skills, I sucked. I think that's kind of what people that try to emulate just the true greats, and Atkins did, I think, his best work on on Nick Fury. And I'd ask him, because he was an escape artist maybe not Houdini level, but in
He
the
was a,
ballpark.
he was a magician. Yeah, all that stuff.
Played
Yeah.
in a band. I mean, he was a he was the man. I mean, I'd say I would say I don't have any questions. Just tell us about the '60s.
I'm trying to
It,
think there of wasn't there any like fictional characters that are like that too? Who could like the everyday man that was the coolest man. He could play
Henry,
guitars.
I don't remember media scene at all.
Yeah. Mm. He's the world's most popular man. Serenko. Yeah. Is he out? He's not married, is he? I think he's still single.
Oh no. Well, yeah, Maranya, that had a lot to do with it, but also, yeah, Jack. I'm sure that he provided his family with a very comfortable living, but he always had that fear that it could all be taken away from him.
Yep.
And then you couple that with not being a particularly good businessman, and before everybody wants to blame Martin Goodman, as you should, you got to remember that every partnership Jack Kirby ever had ended badly, including his relationship with Joe Simon.
Yeah.
So and then obviously the one with Stan. So it's I'm not saying that it's all his fault or all their fault, but people want to think of Jack as just this perfect angel / victim / martyr. But you are responsible for the choices you make.
Yep.
And at some point, if you think you keep getting screwed, you find somebody smarter than you to make it stop. And so I said, it's nothing will change the fact that he's, I would say, the single most creative person in the history of the industry. But yeah, I said he was not perfect either.
I still like Bill Mantlo as far as being creative.
Okay, you just embarrassed yourself by choosing that now. Bill Mantlo was a great. He's what I call you. He was one of the great meat and potatoes writers, and I mean that as a compliment, because when I think of him, I think of Dan Abnett, Roger Stern, guys that can knock out 3 quality titles a month, which is something Mantlo did for years. People said when they needed a go-to, they said if you needed an issue, over the weekend, that's who you call.
Bill Mantlo doing the Rocky Raccoon miniseries, and then have the Hulk show up. Yeah.
That is just such a tragedy what happened to him.
Yep. And then on top of the insurance company they dropped him, his original insurance company. Yeah, because they continued paying for his help, but he wasn't getting it better. So they said, you know what, we're done. And to get lawyers involved and stuff, and then eventually just kept going place. And eventually had a relationship with his children, because for a while he didn't want to see any of them. He was so pissed off. He didn't want to be.
He doesn't know he has children, probably.
Well, he does. In the past couple of years, I read an article that he got a relationship with his daughter and his son.
Well, he's barely above a vegetative state. And he has been since the accident. He may recognize people, but I don't think he can communicate. I know that when the first Guardians came out, they took a print over to his residence and gave him a screening. And his brother, who was still alive at the time and who was his caregiver, said he seemed to recognize what was happening and smiled a couple times. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's again, like I said, it's such a shame that that there are still things that at some point I hope that medical science reaches a point to where something like that can be fixed.
Yep.
It seems like but it's a shame, as I said. But he was, he has an impressive list of credits.
Yeah. According to the article, it wasn't a bicycle he was riding; he was rollerblading. He got hit by a truck.
Yeah, that's
Was it rollerblading?
Yeah.
shows you what happens with you go exercising. What happened to Jim Fix and that other guy?
Yeah.
Do that stuff, and look what happens.
I mean, and at the time he was going through a nasty divorce too with his wife, who's also worked on Marvel as well. She was a colorist. I don't remember who she was.
Was he wearing a helmet? Probably. I'm guessing not.
No, he was not.
I mean, we make fun of people for doing that, but damn, I probably would have saved him.
He normally wears a helmet. That was the one day he didn't wear a helmet, and he went out. It was a routine thing, and he got hit. It was a hit and run.
God, that's awful.
Yep.
I don't know who's taking care of him now because I said his brother
his brother. I didn't realize his
died
brother
about
passed
3 years ago.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, he could die within the next couple of years. I mean, he has severe brain damage. Who knows? Natural things to your body, natural age, you start shutting down.
Mm-hmm.
As you get older, and he say how much damage he has to begin with. But yeah. I always wondered, like, what would he? I mean, how many more awesome little stories we would have got from Bill Mantella if he would not had the accident and continued working at Marvel, or would he have gone over to DC and did some like Green Lantern stuff?
MK, they probably did know each other, but the difference was, Jack didn't get the credit he deserved. Bill Finger got no credit at all because Bob Kane was a horrible human being who was so in love with being Bob Kane, creator of Batman,
wearing the cape and everything.
Yeah, I mean, just he was caught up in the whole celebrity bit. And you can say the same about Stan Lee, but Stan was a promoter, and he was trying to get a comic company off the ground. And again, like I said, a lot of the things that Stan gets blamed for, he had no control over because that was his uncle Martin, who, despite everything Stan and Jack did for him, wanted the company that he sold Marvel to make his son the president, who had no experience, and it created nothing.
And Stan actually sort of gave people who said it was Kirby and I who did it. He always said, at least acknowledged they contributed to making it as opposed to Kane, who didn't say anyone else did anything.
In case bringing up the Snow White thing. Yeah, it has a 1.6 out of 10 on IMDb right now. I don't know if that'll change or not, but yeah, that movie just flops. That also didn't help that she was it the year before the movie came out. She was doing the anti-Jewish thing rants and doing the pro-Palestine. That really just put a nail in the coffin for that movie.
Yeah, I was watching Outkick yesterday.
Yeah.
Half the show is built around Clay Travis saying, all you had to do to make $1 billion was to cast Sydney Sweeney as Snow White.
It's true.
Jenna Ortega or somebody else, actually looks like Snow White would have been a lot better.
Yeah, Jenna Ortega looks nothing like Snow White was supposed to be, because she was skin as pure as snow, which they changed for the new progressive version. But yeah, Sydney Sweeney doesn't fill up her timeline with pro-Palestine tweets and F-Trump tweets. She gets along with everybody. She gets along with everybody other than the blue-haired land whales that hate the fact that she made that Rolling Stones video where she plays like a video hoe the way they did in the 80s.
Yeah.
But as far as I know, everybody likes it. It's like, they put her, they put all these beautiful women in Madam Web and put them in burlap sacks.
Yeah.
It's like,
And then you have Gal Gadot, and she's the less attractive.
Right. As I said, that's
it's true.
I could see now, and then Clay was saying how his wife said, "You're just blinded by her boobs."
Yeah.
That's a fair point.
the reason I said brought up Jenna Ortega because Jenna Ortega is more well liked. I don't
Well,
care.
yeah.
She's also pretty pale too. Like I think she could pass for Snow White.
What from what I understand is,
But she's still ethnic.
the
looking.
original one, they named her Snow White because she is as white as snow. In this movie, the way they did it, they named her Snow White because she was born in the winter time.
During a
Which is
snowstorm.
stupid.
I would have rather had like Snow White just be like a drug lord. That'd be great.
Kind of like that one mutant character in the X-Men back in the 70s, Snowblind or Snow something.
Snow Flame.
Oh, that was Alpha Flight.
Yeah.
That character's name was Snowbird or something like that.
Yeah.
It
Got
is
his powers from
it's-
But
Snow.
there, but like I said,
that was a DC character actually. Catwoman.
oh, and did you hear? Right, a day after the projections for the losses of Snow White go into the hundreds of millions,
Yeah.
ESPN is closing their West Coast offices,
Hmm.
Yeah.
and that's going to
Awkward.
cost about 120 people their jobs.
Awkward.
Yikes.
Yeah, because they've been doing Sports Center LA for probably the last 20 years, and that's gone. But they never get it. They're gonna it's like Tim Walz today said that we're in this mess now because we didn't embrace DEI and some whatever the other two buzzwords are, and said, and Tim Walz should be the president of Disney because he doesn't get it either.
I love the fact that he's sitting there saying, I could probably kick most conservatives' ass. And then Glenn Jacobs is like, yeah, come on, dude. Let's do it. And he's not a word from him. Oh, I didn't mean it that way. Of course, I wouldn't want to take on Glenn Jacobs myself either. But,
Nope.
But I wouldn't have said anything stupid like that either. Both he and Tyrus are going, yeah, come on, let's do it. And open your mouth, and this is what you get.
Oh, there's also talk about they might be bringing back Iron Fist.
I heard a lot of the Netflix Defenders characters could possibly be coming back in season 2.
And people are like, we should replace the guy who played Iron Fist. He sucks.
Yeah, they should.
I'm
No,
like,
he was good. He just needed better direction.
The people who are calling for him to be replaced are the people who want the new Iron Fist. It's not
They
gonna
want
happen.
Iron Fist to be Asian.
Yes.
They want him
No,
to be...
what he needs to be is he needs to be in better shape, and he needs to actually
He
give
was
more
great
time
in the
to
first
some
season.
martial arts.
He was
He needs to
fine
learn
in the
martial
original
arts.
series.
He was fine. He was good. He didn't get as much prep time as he probably
People
should have
didn't
had
like him because he was
like
because he was portrayed as a hippie.
Yeah, I'm team whatever his name is on that.
Finn Jones.
Yeah, I liked him.
Yeah.
I thought he and Mike Coulter, the guy
yeah.
who played Luke
Yeah.
Cage, they had a really good chemistry, which is what you want if you want heroes
Well,
to hire.
The guy who did Luke Cage, he was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think what would have happened had this not blown up was I think season 3 of Luke Cage was going to be Luke is the crime boss
Yeah.
working toward but not really, and season 3 is going to be about Iron Fist getting the fist back.
Yeah.
And then I think season 4 was going to be the two of them, and I think they were going to do something with Colleen and Misty. And it's a shame that we didn't get to see that because
Daughter of the Dragon would be awesome.
Yeah.
the lady that played Misty is close to 50 now.
Oh.
I don't know if she can handle the physicality,
Yeah.
but she
Just make her like Wanda Sykes.
but she was, I mean, and I'm not talking about her Sydney Sweeney sized chest. She was very good. Yeah, I thought the lady who played Misty Knight was fantastic.
Jessica Harwick or Hedwig?
That's
Colleen
Colleen.
Colleen Wing was really good on the screen too and everything.
Yeah.
So, as far as Elektra, I don't know if they were going to bring that actress back.
I'm fine if they don't.
I want them to. I'm okay with them bringing.
I liked her. Yeah,
I liked her a lot. I liked her better than.
Stick is. I want him back too. That guy was great.
I like Stick. Yeah, Stick was a highlight. I like Stick.
Yeah. Yeah, and Raker's right. It was the writing that was as far as for some of the people didn't like as far as the Iron Fist, but
Yeah.
the fact I'll just say the fact he lost the fist and then she gained it is I think there's a lot of people didn't like.
And it was always, every other word was in Kunlun we did this, in Kunlun we did this.
It came at a time
Danny
when
Rand, they did this. They did that.
That came at a time when all the main characters were being replaced by diversity hires, so to speak, and I think the timing of that, if that had happened 10 years earlier, no one would have blinked. Yeah. And maybe 10 years from now, nobody will blink, but it was just the wrong time to be taking something away from a straight white male and giving it to the strong whammon.
But no,
even though it was well done, I was looking to see. I was looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next.
Well, yeah, Danny and the what was the guy? The girl's brother.
Yeah,
Rand. Yeah.
No,
Ward.
Ward, yeah, was the brother. Yeah.
Yeah, Ward and them going at the bar, and then the two gun fists. You know.
Rand was Danny's name. What was his father's name on the?
Ward Beecham.
Beecham.
Ward.
Meacham.
Ward.
Yeah, you're right. Meacham. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, but who was the son then?
The son's name was Ward. The father's name was David.
Yeah.
Time to look it up.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought it was actually pretty good. I was like, every time I got to see Colleen, I was like, who cares about bad writing? I get to see this looking girl kicking ass. So.
God, that was 7 years ago now.
Yeah. Wow. And you know what? Can we please get Daredevil season 3 on freaking DVD or Blu-ray? Or Harold Meacham. Yeah.
Harold. Oh, okay.
So I have season 1 and season 2 of Daredevil on DVD. They still have not released season 3 in any physical media whatsoever.
Not going to happen.
Well,
unless they start doing a VOD with it.
Yeah.
So the only thing I can think of is if they release Born Again in a box set with the Netflix.
Yeah, I would like to. Yeah, I would like to have, as I probably at this point, being at my age, I don't know that I'd go back and watch those per se, but something that I don't think has come to physical media that I wish would is Bosch.
That's true.
I would love, like at least the 7-year series. I would love to have that.
Tulsa King, and I think Reacher is. I don't actually know. Is Reacher on DVD yet? Physical media?
Might be.
I know that Bosch isn't, but I mean, you're seeing a lot of these other shows. Like
season 1 is.
Okay, so the Tulsa King and I believe and Landman will probably be on soon, but
yeah.
It's weird how like certain shows are like on demand only. Aren't released, and other ones are like, here's at Walmart. Here's a season release. Yeah, I agree with Rhaegar. Jennifer Garner was pretty, but she's
not. You know what is?
Yeah.
One thing I thought was really funny. I've been trying to find this every once in a while. They are still charging for Madame Web. I'm waiting for it just to come on streaming where you don't have to pay for it. It's still, as of like about a week ago, they're still, you can only rent it or buy it.
I'll be right back.
And I was like, no, I'm not going to pay anything. I've heard it was so bad that I won't pay, the $3 or $4 for it. I'm going to wait. But
yeah, but as I said, Jennifer Garner, not a good Daredevil. The girl who played Daredevil not Daredevil, but sorry, played Elektra in the Daredevil show was actually really cool. And then I like the fact that she was also involved in the G.I. Joe movies. I think there's a second one. She was like Snake Eye's protege or something.
Oh yeah. You're right. Yeah, she was.
Yeah. So I saw one of I was looking up movies and stuff, it's like Snake Eyes. I was like, I recognize one of the ginger on there. I'm like, oh, she was in a Fox show back in the day called Mystic Knights of Tirnog through Saban. So it's kind of funny to see like, oh, that's where she ended up, like in a Snake Eyes the movie. It's one I still have not watched yet, but I'm just guessing. But any comic book cinematic adaptation will probably be based on new stuff rather than the classic comic. content. Yeah, this one, the Born Again, is really not even Born Again. It's literally just the name and title. At least I'm experiencing that. I don't know if we use that, but it just feels more like Chip Zdarsky's run.
Yeah, it's definitely not a lot of the Frank Miller Born Again. I think they're using the title Born Again because it is kind of synonymous with Daredevil.
But they
it's
had
like,
Yeah, but
hey,
it,
we're not twisting it. We're making him be more.
Yeah.
We're making it fit more in with the rest of the MCU.
yeah.
So
Yeah, but so like the news, the new stuff has been pretty. It's been all right. But like it's funny though, they had Frank Miller visit the set before they aired it, released stuff, and I'm thinking like, what? I'm like, hey Frank, thanks for coming to set. Yeah, as you can see, we did this. He's like, what the fuck? This isn't my book.
yeah, you know how we can tell?
Because
That
Karen's
it's not-
alive. Karen's not a cokehead doing in a prostitute, and she's
Yeah,
still
I was gonna say the first thing that comes to mind is Karen wasn't a heroin
yeah.
addicted whore, like she was at the very beginning of the book.
Yep. Yeah. I'm like, when's Captain America gonna show up? When everybody go get Snook at the end with strung out Karen being protected by Daredevil. Look, that's what I want. I wanted Daredevil to be like when his apartment gets blown up and like Born Again. He's like, ah! And he goes to attack Kingpin. Yeah. Has him bit disbarred and stuff. But I do like the fact that in this, like, because it's left over from the actual Netflix Daredevil season 3, that he knows that Matt Monarch is Daredevil, and they made a deal, But I wonder if word gets out that Daredevil is back. I wonder if you're going to see Kingpin going after him, Matt Murdock.
Well, yeah, the task force that he has put together.
Yeah.
Obviously their priorities muse, but he said, vigilantes in general. Now Daredevil is a practicing vigilante again.
Yep. Having disbarred,
borrowing plots from the last 6 or 7 years.
You know what I want? I want him wearing this shirt that says "I'm not Daredevil." Remember the Christmas one? He had like the Christmas party, and like everybody, the word was out that Matt Murdock was Daredevil. So the girl flashes the boobs at the party, and he's like, "Oh, do you see anything?" He's like, "No." He's trying not to look.
You know what I want to see him wear? I want to see him wear an "Ask Me About My Feminist Agenda" shirt.
The Mockingbird one?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. Simply as a move from Netflix to Disney, production-wise. Yeah. Yeah, that was the thing. Do you think they'll acknowledge the whole booty call hookup with She-Hulk? Or do you think we're distancing ourselves from She-Hulk? That doesn't exist. Like everybody says, the walk of shame. Yeah. Because that was not explained whatsoever. You're like, because that was a very standalone series. Because at the end of it, they were actually dating. So I was like, I don't think anybody really wants to touch that subject anymore, even to acknowledge that crap.
Well, I just heard that Tatiana Maslany is going to have a big role in this Doomsday movie.
Oh no!
Again, they can't help themselves. They've gotta, and I'm sure she'll be just as girl boss bitchy as she was in the series.
What you clicking on? Phone?
Back to the game I'm watching.
Oh, I'm here like click, 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 click. I'm like, either because it sounds like back in the day you had those sidekicks. Basically the phones they turn their sides and they flip open. You can type.
When something isn't on the regular grid, which is like the 4,000, because I have like 25 favorites, and when I stray from that, you gotta do a decent amount of clicking, but it beats the alternative, so I'll take it all day long.
What you need to have is like 12 TVs, hook them up, and you can have games on all different TVs at once.
I think I'll pass on that.
John Campia loves that walk of shame and the twerking. I don't know who John Campia is. Is that the guy who cries every review? Oh my gosh, it's so great.
I think that's Kevin Smith.
Oh, that's a different guy.
This is something that you won't care about particularly because you're not sports guys, but arguably the two greatest third basemen of all time are Mike Schmidt and George Brett. In 1971, Brett was drafted 29th. Schmidt was drafted 30th. They retired. Brett had 1,596 RBI. Schmidt 1,595.
Wow.
If what can you imagine? I said, they basically weren't even first round picks.
Crazy.
And again, Johnny Bench wasn't a first round pick either, but I digress. That's fascinating. That's one thing. Yeah, I got to admit, I'm watching a trailer for their commercial for the accountant too. Looks pretty cool. It's Ben Affleck never looks older.
I never saw the
Yeah,
first one.
it's true. He always looks the same age.
When the first one came out, I kind of like, no, I've seen this before. I've seen Paycheck. I don't need to watch it.
Oh, I didn't care about that at all. But put
Yeah.
John Bernthal in it, and I'm interested.
Oh, so Robert Venditti's Green Lantern is getting an omnibus in October. That's cool.
Oh, the one where Carol cucks him.
I don't know. Carol's not on the cover.
No, there's Robert Venditti. They're New 52.
It doesn't say New 52.
Is that the fridging run?
No, that's Kyle Rayner.
Robert Venditti was part of the New 52 run where Carol said, "You don't want a break," and next thing you know, she's having sex with Kyle.
Well, this just shows Hal and Kilowog and some other Green Lanterns that I don't know who they are.
It was in like the Green Lantern Corps and all that stuff was part of it too. And
It just says Green Lantern. It doesn't say Green Lantern Corps.
What is the Coco Channel report?
And then Gail Simone has a Omnibus Volume 2 of Secret 6 coming out.
You know, Eric, you need to hook up a second camera now, so if you just click on it, goes over to where the cat is.
Hey, stupid cat.
What's wrong with the stupid cat?
Right now, she's just looking off into space, but she woke up long enough to not move.
I love when you look at them and they open their eye and then they look at you and you're like, "What are you looking at?" Yeah. Cats are like little personality, but in a minute you like stop paying attention, they'll come over and be like, meow, meow.
Well, some do. Most of them just get the fuck away from you because they don't care.
Yeah.
That's what I said. That's what I liked about this cat is it likes people, and that not many cats do.
Geeky, you need to go.
Well, I figure we're not going to be here much longer, but I just do need to get this thing back up.
Well, we got 4 more hours to go, buddy. This is the marathon.
Yeah,
I don't have 4 hours to go. Not me.
Nope, nodding off again. I guess waking up for 2 minutes is too much for her.
I just want to know the thought process. I know you didn't name the cat. Like, why they called it Coco?
No idea. Not.
Like it doesn't
The
look
person
like
person that did doesn't know who they are anymore, so I'm sure doesn't know why she named him Coco.
Oh yeah,
Coco.
I would have based on the cat. I would have named her Patches.
I still like the suggestion from earlier Coco Beware.
Coco. I always say Coco Beware because Coco Beware. When you say Coco, that's the first thing I think of. Or I think of Ice-T's wife.
Well, she is a big. Oh,
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah. He was like, "Yeah, I tapped that and survived." What? Oh, okay.
Read the part above it. That's
I know, but it's like we're talking about Coco and Ice-T. I was like, "Dang."
Or you could put them both together, and this should just name her Calicoco.
Her nickname is Coke Zero. Game on hockey game. Take care, all. Oh, what game you watching? What hockey game, Henry? Anyway, all right, we've been here for within less than 60 seconds. We'll be here for about 3 hours.
Yeah, let's put this one to bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll put you guys down. Anyway,
Sure.
so with that being said, you guys need to curl up in your blanket, just curl up and just lay there, and then we'll whisper soft goodbyes to you.
For another hour and a half.
Good night, John boy. No. If you're not so, please click like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Check out the Ko-Fi link above, and drop $1 until if you can to help us support the channel. But we'll be back tomorrow night around 8 p.m. Eastern. No, sorry. Yeah, 8 p.m. Eastern for two more readings, where we read comic books just for you. Not you, but for them. But anyway, we'll see you guys later. Have a good night.
Kids.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, Moon.
Say goodnight, Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.